Hey, does anybody want coffee? Who wants coffee? I just made a fresh pot of coffee. Does anybody want coffee?
The MAM-27 fine year crashes.
how's it going? Hello. Yeah, so I started my stream and I went to go start it on YouTube and it crashed my OBS. So that was fun. Nice to see you all. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. So I don't exactly know how that affected the streamer bot necessarily. But I got it back up and running pretty quick, so I don't think it was too bad, but I do apologize for whatever the heck happened there. But I think I see Little Sea Ghost, congrats on the first. Michi, congrats on the third. And Gregor, congrats on the second. Good job, guys. Hi, Ghost. Nice to see you. All the crashes indeed. Little Sea Ghost, thank you for sending me 11 hugs. Little Sea Ghost, thank you for sending 11 of the ones. TJ, hello. Thank you for the daily check-in. Coffee, hello. Thank you for the daily check-in. Coffee, thank you for telling chat they're amazing. Thank you for sending me 11 hugs. Hey, Ghost friend ripped stream already. Yeah, right. Gregor, thank you for the daily check-in and for sending many 11 hugs. Yay, Crashy indeed. I want to know how Gregor got second after me. When I went to redeem it, it was gone. Wellness check already. Funny story. My husband got me sweet tea last night from Walmart. My mother-in-law didn't know, and she also got me sweet tea today from Walmart. So now I have 2 gallons in my fridge right now, and I'm not upset about it at all. Little Seagulls, thank you so much for the tier 1. 5 months. I can't believe you've been here for 4 entire months. And like maybe longer. I can't remember if you hold on. Did you sub when you first got here? I think you did, which was like threw me off significantly because I was like, there's no way you love me enough after 1 day to sub, and yet here you are, literally a regular, and I just appreciate you so much, Little Seagulls. Thank you so much. No cap, thank you for the I almost said the Thaley check-in. That's 1,000 tater tots. I do appreciate it. Hi, Michi. Thank you for the daily check-in. Thank you for sending many love and hugs. I hope you have been well. I wasn't there. It was there for me. Third and first weren't. That's so funny. Gregor's, oh, thanks for the daily check-in. I have been. I hope you've been well too. Any ventures outside lately? No, I've been chilling with depression. Bro, same. It's fun. I do have something delicious, but I can't remember what it was now. Oh, no. It'd be like that sometimes, but delicious things are always a nice treat. I'm snacking on some honey roasted peanuts right now, but I wanted something desserty. Okay, listen. Hey, Amp, nice to see you. Listen! I tried the thing that Little Seagull suggested. We talked about this in Doc's chat yesterday, but this is like pertinent to my stream too. I tried the thing the Little Seagull suggested about the cheddar bagel with the peanut butter on it. Okay. I had cream cheese for backup just in case I didn't like it, okay? So I put a little peanut butter on half of my bagel and I was like, all right, let's try this. And I took a bite and I was like, let's take another bite. So I took another bite and I was like, this is actually pretty good. So then I took another bite and I was like, all right, yeah, this is fine. This is fine. So I had half of a bagel with peanut butter and I had half of a bagel with cream cheese just to like try and figure out the difference. Now, obviously peanut butter and cream cheese are different, don't yell at me. But I was like, okay, this is what normally happens. Now, what is it with the peanut butter? So the peanut butter gives like a nice little bit of sweetness to it. It was good. It was actually really good. I have tiny sweet grapes and some cinnamon Oreos. Cinnamon Oreos? I don't think I've ever heard of those before. Happy what? Happy Friday! Is that the mama? Is that the engineer? Sorry, I probably talked over your thing. I don't have my earbuds in, so I can't hear anything. Disconnect protection kicked in, so nothing really broke out on our end. Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you for the daily check-in, Amp. I forgot button. I see a lack of Skyrim. Did someone mention cars or am I early for once? AK! I just got here. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Worm that sweet tea. Worm the sweet tea. Worm what? Hi, Pangu. Nice to see you. You may have as many as you want. These grapes are super delicious. But how tiny are they? Thank you for telling chat they're amazing. Thank you for the daily check-in. What brand? Oh, it's Walmart sweet tea. Walmart sweet tea is the best. I refuse to drink any other brand. Potats fans are gonna be 90% sweet tea pretty soon. And the funny thing is, I made brownies last night and I made horchata a few nights ago. Like, our house is full of sugar right now. It's fine. I think I waited a couple streams, but yeah, it was super early on. But what can I say? You're charmed. You're so cute. I love you, little seagulls. Leave me alone. You had cream cheese. I still have cream cheese in my fridge. Okay, this is a case of having my cake and eating it too, because I ate some, but I still have some left. How's it going, Wolfie? Nice to see you. PB and cream cheese are great too. Great. Now I have to try both. Are you telling me that I need to like put peanut butter on half and then cream cheese on half and then like stack them together? Because I didn't do that, and now I'm curious. Selena Gomez, or did you say peanut butter and hot sauce? I am less okay with that. I am much less okay with that than peanut butter and cheddar bagel. Peanut butter and cheese! You've buttered your last biscuit. Cinnamon nuts? I do love your nuts. Selena Gomez Oreos. Thank you for the daily check-in. It's not Friday here though, is it? Happy Friday? I hope I have something to look forward to. It's technically not Friday here either, but it's always Friday in my stream. That's like 20% on the way to my favorite noodle sauce. Oh, wait. Actually, okay. Peanut butter and like sriracha, because peanut sauce and like Thai food, that is a better combination. But just like, I was thinking about peanut butter and like Tabasco or peanut butter and Tapatio on a bagel, and I'm like, that seems weird. I just got done with a nightly run. I'm sorry. No, just kidding. Hi, Kelp. Nice to see you. Not gonna lie, half the time I get off stream, I go take Tater for a very short run. I don't like Red Diamond. It's bitter. Red Diamond, is that a hot sauce? Hold on. It's so good. Why don't you make your own sweet tea? We've been over this, Ninja! Because I like the Walmart. You're full of sugar and spice and everything nice. No, you! Except you also have a little bit of unhinged sprinkled in. Patat does not know the concept of time, so it is perpetually Friday when she streams. I'm good, resting, but good. Resting and good, because it means that you rest. It's fine. I'm about to start boiling chicken in acid. I idly wonder if you'll start the game before my dinner is finished. Not complaining, just sharing a thought. I wonder the same thing, don't worry. PB and a good hot sauce. Excuse peanut butter and hot sauce. Okay, hear me out. Depending on the hot sauce, that can be really tasty. It's Friday for some of my friends, so I wasn't sure. It's definitely not actually Friday for me. I'm on the west coast of the US. It is most certainly Thursday. Hi, Kelp. Hope you're doing well. Did you say peanut butter and hot sauce? Stone grinding noise during a turn. There's no way I can make that sound, but I can hear it like. Anyway, chili oil is ideal in my brain cell. PB and grease is very hot. Habanero is very nice too. Guys, really quick. I know I'm getting myself distracted right now, but did you see the pictures that I put in my Discord of baby Tater? Cause he's so cute. He's literally like a teeny tiny little peanut. I love him so much. He was so much lighter colored when he was a little baby puppy than he is currently, but oh my gosh, he's so cute. Anyway, it's like peanut butter and a spicy strawberry jam is delicious. Okay, no, you're turning me over to the dark side. Red Diamond tea, I've never heard of it, not gonna lie. Sydney Jenny, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow, I really appreciate it. Narrow in the knee. I can kind of hear some things through my earbuds when they're like down in front of me, but not that well. Now on my way home. Well, have a safe trip home. I have a habanero blueberry hot sauce that also goes great with peanut butter. I ran on a forest trail. I'm like 2 hours away from my house. You don't have to walk back to your house, do you? Excuse me, a little unhinged. A little unhinged. How do you know I'm at least 50% unhinged? Oh, I have some delicious chili oil. So, whoa, I made it to the bottom of chat. I was not prepared for that. Okay, hold on. You guys need to see little baby tater tot. Little baby tater tot. Hold on. Okay, so just for reference, this is regular tater. Okay, this is this is him. Okay, this is my dog, by the way. He's almost 11 months old. I run back home. I like my cardio. That's fair. I have a few I make my own. I love Leoganma, and a friend made me a jar too. I don't know what that is, but this is Tater. Okay, this is Tater. He's his little puppy. He's roughly 13 pounds. He's very small, but not like tiny. And this was him when he was a little baby puppy. Look at him. Look at that tiny little thing. He's so little bitty. His tiny little toe beans. I love him so much. Hold on. We have more pictures. Okay, there's this one. Look at your little face. Look at your little face. The tiny little paws. It is tiny little nose. It is tiny little eyes. And tiny little ears. So cute. Okay, one more. Here he is. He must have been like barely born in this picture. Like, look how small he is. He's literally so tiny. I run back home. I like my cardio. Excuse me as I cough up more of my lungs from the flu that I'm recovering from. Oh, Pangu, I'm so sorry. Can I pet that dog? Literally a chibi puppy. Hi, Drums. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. I hope you recover soon. It's been smoky here, so I can relate. My cat weighs more than that. 16 pounds. Tater got his butt handed to him by a cat yesterday. It got his butt absolutely handed to him by a cat yesterday. I didn't even see the cat. I'm not gonna lie. It was over at the corner of our property. And I was just taking him out to go potty, and he kind of dragged me over to the edge, and I wasn't really paying attention. I was really tired. But he dragged me over, and then I saw the cat right when he ran up to it. And gosh, those cat's reflexes. He just like whipped out a paw and smashed him in the face. I was actually worried for a second that, because it's not a declawed cat or anything like that, because it's a stray, basically. It gets fed by the people in my neighborhood. But like it's intact, it's got claws. I was worried that he might have gotten his eye, for a second. I was like, oh gosh. And I looked at him, but he didn't get hurt. But Tater's very vocal, so if he does get hurt, he says something about it. So fortunately, I knew he was okay. But yeah, look at this. He's so cute. Anyway. Holy canine, he's so small! He's teeny! Hi, Olican, thank you for the daily check-in. Hi, Wise, nice to see you. Thank you for the daily check-in. And Dazzly Doctor, thank you for the daily check-in. Nice to see you all. I hope you're all doing fantabulously. We're looking at baby pictures of Tater, because I just reached out to his old owner today. And I was like, hey, do you happen to have any pictures of when he was, like, tiny? Because I'd really like to see pictures of when he was teeny tiny. And she's like, actually, here you go. She sent me a whole bunch of them. Cats fight alligators. He shouldn't feel shame. Let's see. Yeah, and again, for reference, here he is now, full size. I don't think he's gonna get much bigger. He's not gonna get much taller. He might fill out a little bit. He's really thin right now, but he's in his lanky teenage stage, because he's not quite a year old. Cats have all of the audacity. Hi, Doc. It's so nice to see you. This was when I got him back from the groomers. So he's all clean and cute and everything. He's super golden in this picture because the sun was like coming straight in my window. But he's just so cute. And then yeah, I got this picture of him like curled up next to me the other day. He's literally just a fluffy pillow in this picture. Just a little fluffy pillow. And then here's a better picture of his face for anyone who hasn't seen him before. He's very cute. Still working on pooping in the house, but I don't know. There's probably a little sound to this, but wait, I want to just not full screen. What is this? Well, all right. Tiny little puppy. Look at that little puppy. He's so chunky. It was so chunky when he was a little puppy. And then apparently this is his sibling. His sibling is black, but his parents are both not completely black. One is black and one is black tri with a lot of tan. So it's really interesting that Tater himself is like fully coppery colored. But he's so cute. Oh man. Oh yeah, and I got this little video of him chasing his tail. I've never actually seen a dog chase its tail in person before. And I caught him doing this the other day. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. He would have kept going, but Minnie ran around and like stepped on his foot and he got mad about it, so. Yeah. But I was like, no way he's chasing his tail, that's adorable. So, there you go. Getting distracted with my dog. How did he do at his first grooming appointment? Apparently he did pretty well, actually. She said he took a little bit of time to get used to the clippers, which is fair, because he'd been groomed before, but not like professionally. So he wasn't too bad. He wasn't as bad as I was worried he might be, especially due to his lack of socialization as a puppy. But no, he was pretty good. Also, I found out, so I think the lady I got him from, I'm not sure what happened. Like, from what I heard, she'd bought him, but then some of the things, it looked like she had him since he was too young to be. Oh, I don't know. Maybe some of the things she sent me were just from the original breeder. But, apparently when she was trying to rehome him, he went to a different place for a couple of days, but he didn't get along with their other dog. So he had to go back, and that's when she was desperately trying to rehome him again, and that's when I got him. So his name was Copper, and then Rocky, and then Copper again, and now he's named Tater Tot. But he didn't really respond to Copper when I had him, but he responded to Tater almost instantly. So I was like, I think sometimes they pick their name, and he picked Tater. So I was really happy, but he's super cute. I love him. Anyways, guess who didn't open Skyrim, question mark? I thought I did. Maybe I did and it didn't open when my OBS crashed or something. I don't really know what happened there. I'm sorry. But yeah, it was Adam, because it was weird because I was trying to go live on YouTube and it seemed like I hadn't actually pushed the button to go live, so I pushed it again and then it crashed OBS. Hey X4, nice to see you! Hope you're doing well. Welcome in. Alright. Taking bets now on how often things are gonna crash today. Including my stream, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna do the thing where I run ads and start running the game because it takes a few minutes for it to pop up. So, apologies if you get ads, but I'm just gonna get them out of the way. You're not gonna miss anything except probably a tiny bit of yapping. I'm alright! Thanks for asking. Hope you're doing well. Doggy! Oh no! Oh my gosh, you have a Skyrim Helm Kappa? Bro, that's so funny! Dova Kappa, no way. That is so funny. That needs to be an actual thing. They should make that a hype train emote. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, /pin, I'm live on the YouTubes. If you would like to support over there as well, here's the link. youtube.com/@theLavaPotat. Okay, got it. It should be a real thing. I loved it a ton. It's so funny. Hang on. I forgot. I think it's... Dang it. Okay. I saw Billy's name come up and I was like, yeah, we got the Skyrim helmet, but we didn't. We got the chocolate chip ice cream. That's fine. That's fine. Also, I can see that my microphone is going more into the red than normal, so if things start to sound crunchy or something, let me know. I don't know if I'm just like sitting closer to my microphone than normal today or something, but yeah, if things start sounding really bad, just let me know. I can try to fix it on the fly, but I can't promise anything. Don't hate on the chocolate chip ice cream. Chocolate chip ice cream is really good. I would never hate on it. You have two outfit things for the hedgehog. You have the chocolate chip ice cream and you have the Skyrim helm. So when I saw your name, I was like, cool, we got it, but then I saw the chocolate chip ice cream and I'm like, that was the wrong one! How's it going, Billy? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm coming to the cool kids chat now. And you're #1. Look at that, Inja. I appreciate you. Speaking of appreciation. Okay. I'm special. You are special. You're like one of my first like real friends on this platform. I would say you and Frog. You and Frog in total were the first separate groups that I met, and then Total and Frog's communities kind of merged. But obviously Frog and Total don't come around too often anymore. So Billy's like uber special. Billy and Robo are the OGs, I think. Did you work around the Skyrim crash? I didn't have time to try. So it's entirely possible we continue in a death loop of crashing today. We'll see. Hopefully not, but you know, sometimes it'd be the way that it'd be. I did get into the game, so there's that. I just have to start it. Also, I think out of the entire Skyrim soundtrack, drums!
Thank you. Potato!
Are we ever gonna find out where the rim of the sky is?
Super loud. I appreciate it! I really do, and honestly, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out today. Maybe we won't. Okay, hold on, let me get rid of this. Billy is special. I forgot what I was saying. Thank you so much for the tier 1. I really appreciate it. I really... What is this? Oh, that's right. I was playing Nancy Drew. Hey! Thanks for that shout out to Billy. He's super special. Billy... I was gonna say, Billy, did you shout yourself out? But Billy's really not that kind of person. So coffee and or rally. Thanks for the shout out. You were talking about the Skyrim soundtrack. Oh yeah! I think this is my favorite. Other than the theme song, the Dragonborn theme song, I love the Bannered Mare. I love you all. I'm gonna go to bed and be miserable. No! Ghost! We just started! Where's the party gonna be without you? Come on now. You gotta stay now. You're not allowed to leave. That's right. You've been here long enough. I'm allowed to bully you into staying. Hey, hey! Okay. Let's see if we get caught in an endless death loop. Good night, friend. Hope your brain is nicer to you soon. I agree. Oh yeah, also by the way, you should definitely follow Billy. If you're not already. He's really cool. He'll tell you that he's not, but that's just because he is like super cool. Go follow him. He genuinely, it was really like one of my very first friends on this platform. And he's one of the only ones from that time period who actually still comes around like regularly. And it's not that reason exactly that I'm telling you to go follow him, because I would tell you to go follow Total and Frog too. But Billy's genuinely, and he's gonna be mad at me because I'm gonna go off on a soliloquy about how amazing he is. But he is. He was huge in like the support of my early channel. And he's honestly been, his own stream has been a really big source of comfort in my own life. Cause, well, one, he's pretty consistent. He's got a good schedule, and it's Monday, Wednesday, and I think he just switched to 3 days a week consistently. It was 4, but it's Monday, Wednesday, Saturday at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. And I literally I'm almost to 300 streak. I'm almost at 300 stream streak in his chat. I love it there so much. And the thing is, I'm not just there to get my streak either. I'm literally there for like the whole stream. If I were to put my watch time into his chat, it's well over 1,000 hours. Okay, it's no stream Saturday, so it's Friday then. I couldn't remember because you only switched recently. And I know you missed a day that you didn't intend to as well recently, so I wasn't entirely sure. But so yeah, so it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then 6, and then 7. He starts an hour later on Fridays. But yeah, go check out his channel. He's really great. Right now he's obsessed with Monster Train 2, and he's really good at it. So if you are interested in that kind of game as well, definitely go check him out. He's done a ton of stuff like Darkest Dungeon 2, Slay the Spire, Balatro, however you want to say it. I don't know. Billy, did you see the game that Sierra was playing yesterday? The word game, wordplay, I think. I kind of want to try it on my own channel just to see how you guys would like it. I'm not gonna lie, if Skyrim starts causing tons and tons of issues, I might get the game and we can try it tonight. I'm not hoping for that necessarily, but I think it could be interesting just to see how it goes, because it's a really cool game. It really is. Hi Plasma, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you in general, Ghost. I hope you know that. Let's see. Hi TJ. Could all these crashes recently, Skyrim Jackbox, OBS, be related to that possible problem with your chip or whatever someone noticed? So Jackbox, the reason it was crashing was because the Jackbox servers themselves were down. So that was just unrelated coincidence. OBS crashing and Skyrim crashing could be some issue with my GPU. I could talk to Billy and or Rally about it, but I don't believe it would be I don't believe it's my CPU because Rally and I fixed that problem already. So I think there might just be something up with my GPU, but I'm not entirely sure. I usually do Friday and Saturday, but I got a pool party on Saturday. Well, I know you said well, obviously I know you've been doing Friday and Saturday, but I know you also were saying you wanted to cut back one of those days, and I wasn't sure if you had decided on one or if you just happened to have like some stuff going on. Wordplay, I briefly saw some of it, but not enough to understand it. Same, but I was participating and it was really awkward. Wordplay and yes, 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 yes. Hey. Coffee is obsessed. Coffee is obsessed with word games. Wordplay, a great way to start a fight over the singular brain cell we collectively share in chat. It could just be vanilla Skyrim. You're so right. How are you doing, Plasma? It's so nice to see you. Okay, well, we're in the game. Let's see how it goes. All right, let's see how this goes. We have tried to do this fight like 5 times at this point. We got through it once and then it crashed at the end. The last 3 times we tried to do this, it crashed either immediately or right at the beginning. So, ow! I also died. Okay, I was running to the water, but I forgot. Water doesn't actually stop you being on fire. Stop! I'm literally gonna die again. I'm literally gonna die again. I just loaded in. What is this? Where are my health potions? Stop it. I swear, if I die, I died. I died. I didn't die. I haven't died. I died. Okay. I didn't understand how I wasn't dying right there. My health was on a sliver. Anyway. Pew 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 pew. Hi, Truth! Hi, don't please. Too late. Oh no. I warned you too late. Guys, stop! I just got here. Yeah, right. How did I not die? I died. It's fine. How's it going, Truth? Nice to see you. Typing on phone is hard. Typing in general is hard. Don't worry. I understand. Don't you worry. Vilcus, you've got like a ice spike in your back. That does not look comfortable. Janassa, get him! You need to swim over there, please. You need to be over there. Over where? Over yonder! Please. If I go over there, I'm going to die. I don't know how I've beaten these guys before because I died when I wasn't even anywhere close to them, so you know, that's fine. Whoa. Oh, cool. Okay, anyways. If this mod does keep crashing, I suggest console teleporting back to Skyrim proper. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, we could possibly have to give up on Midwood Isle. No. Have a dude. 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 Leave me alone. Okay, go, my guy. Go. I can't see you, but I'm sure you're fine. Where is he? There he is. Whittle their health down for us, please. Ah, yes. If only I could do this in real life. Have a dude! New merch line coming soon. Have a dude! Soon is in sometime within the next 5 years. Don't worry. No! No, don't kill him. Wait, did he summon a guy? Oh yeah, he summoned a friend! Ooh, okay. Alright. I love how everybody's over here doing nothing!
You think you stand a chance?
Not particularly, but while they're distracted, maybe I can get over there. Okay, have another dude. Have a dude! 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 Leave me alone! Okay, have whatever this is to the face, please. Thank you for the daily check-in! Oh yeah, I forgot about Foos Roda! Ow. Not particularly. Have a dude. Leave me alone. Okay, this spell is pretty good if it actually hits, but I don't think it has a ton of range, unfortunately. Okay, hi. Why are you not dying? Why is your health not going down? Immune to Wall of Storm since when? I would use that power so bad, IRL. Need a clean, have a dude. Creepers are trying to talk to you, have a dude. Need to work, have a dude. I think first one dot translates to have a dude. Janessa! Yeah, everybody's stuck over there, so that's fine. Can I get somebody who's not immune to Wall of Storms? Hello? Wow, okay. Jeez. Are you... Master Worshipper is immune to Wall of Storms? Is not immune to Wall of... There's a chest back here. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, hang on. I don't trust myself to not die right now, so help. No, I need type. Restore. Where are you? No, I'm not trying to poison anything. Where's my health? There it is. That reminds me, I'm inviting you to my birthday party next May, but you gotta RSVP within the next 30 seconds. It's so sad. Wow. Thanks, Gregor. I appreciate it. It's the thought that counts. Don't worry. Okay, you're not immune to Wall of Storms. You know what? You don't appear that... Okay. I don't have enough magicka. Hold on. Okay, we defeated one of the worshippers. Hello, can I have... Why? What's it? Is it magic? It's just magicka. Okay. Boop. Okay, one of the dudes died. Are you... Are you immune to Wall of Storms, or am I just missing? Yeah, ow, you're just immune. Okay. Okay. I think you might actually be immune. Maybe. I don't know. Hold on. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna save right here. That way if we crash, at least we're like a third of the way through this. Everyone here's immune to Wall of Storms. How? That's what I used to kill them last time. Fine. Ebony Battle Axe. Why am I carrying that around? Glass Sword of Oppression is what I think I want to use. 50. Dracus' Sword. It's slow to swing, but it does a lot of damage. We can try that. He just one-shot that guy! Yo. Oh, it's okay. He got another one. No. Bring, get back. Okay. Can I get this guy? Do I want to get this guy? You kind of appear stuck. Hello? No! Stop it. Aha! I got you. Okay. I got one of them. There's... The other one died. Where did he die? Over here? No, you dodged! You're not allowed to dodge! You're just an NPC. Why does Skyrim look like this? Why does it look like... what? Why does it look crazy gorgeous? Because it's got lots of mods. Okay, we did it! We defeated the worshippers! I'm saving the game! Don't worry. If saving crashes the game, I was gonna say. Well, howdy! Save! We have saved! Now we can do whatever this thing is. Extinguish the ritual fire. Okay, we did the thing. Okay, return to the Shrine of Erkaloth. Whee! Oh, okay. Horsey, I need you, please. Hold on, I have to slog through some water first. Boop. I made it! I'm saving again! Don't worry. I wish I could get mods. My girlfriend probably does too. Are you talking about for like real life? Sometimes I think Patat hears voices, then I remember she streams to YouTube concurrently. Yes, I know, and I still haven't. I mean, like I said, I don't usually expect people to go to YouTube and then also like chat, because a lot of people the people who are on YouTube tend to be Twitch viewers as well. So I still don't have anything in place for like YouTube chat to come up on stream. Yeah, of course, look how good they made Skyrim. I know, right? All the mods that I'm adding to my car are, ooh, inexpensive in money, but, take a lot of time, so I'm not done with mine. Although that being said, a couple of them were super inexpensive and also only took 2 seconds to put into my car because one was just like a garland of flowers, which is super easy to just throw up on my dash. But the other thing that I'm doing to my car is I'm, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I'm like I'm not re-steaming the car, but, I'm sewing between the current threads on the steering wheel and the console, the dash doesn't have any seams. The door cards and part of the seats. So, I've done the center console and I've done my door card and I've done my steering wheel, but I haven't done any of the seats and there's like 3 more door cards I still need to do. Embroidering. Yep, that's a word. Have you fixed the wheel bearing? No, because I don't drive that car at all. Steam holes. Steam holes. Full steam ahead. No, that car has not been properly driven in... like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's like 7 months. That's crazy. And then even before that, I was still only driving like once or twice a week. So if you consider that properly driven, then it's been about 7 months. And if you don't consider that properly driven, then I haven't really driven that car in like 2 years. Have you also been posting to YouTube? So kind of. I dual stream to YouTube, so I don't have to upload and then, or sorry, I don't have to download my VOD and then upload it or record it and then upload it. I just have it go straight to YouTube. So it like uploads to YouTube automatically, just like Twitch. And then I do little clips that I upload every now and again, but otherwise, like, I haven't been making videos or anything like that. Only you are permitted inside Lastendel. Bologna sandwiches! I will have Vilcus with me, I don't care. Makes sense? I've been wondering about posting, so I was just curious. Like, posting yourself? Yeah, if you're curious at all about dual streaming to YouTube as well, AITUM. AITUM. As long as your internet's good enough, AITUM is the way to go. It's so much nicer than Restream. I don't like Restream.
Looks like this is goodbye. For now, at least. I'm always terrible at these. I know I have no chance of harming Zachris, so I'll head to Alverton and await your return. Or Zachris, I suppose. I wish you luck, my friend. I regret that I won't be there to see you destroyed at work, but I suspect I will know once you have. Farewell then. Give Zachris an arrow between the eyes.
No, you're supposed to say an arrow in the knee! Come on! Oh yeah, also I'll type it in chat just so you know how to spell it, but AITUM. That's really, really nice. And then, just so you can see what it looks like in OBS, I'll send you a little screenshot really quick. Oops. Truth! There you go. Just so you know what it looks like. It's down in the corner. Alright. Travel to Lastendel. You tell me to say goodbye to everybody, but I feel like I'll be able to bring some people with me. Every single time, well, this is modded though, but all the times in vanilla where it's like your follower's not supposed to go with you, they still manage to come along. So let's go to Lastendel. The realm of the worthy. Yeah! I still have Vilcus. Oh yeah, I still have Vilcus and Cicero and Janassa with me. Who are you? Buddy, I am the Dragon Warrior. Yes, it does support TikTok. It supports anything you need it to. You could triple stream to TikTok if you wanted to. It's solely based on how good your internet is. Instead of like, so Restream was wonky. It's fine. It just specifically didn't work with my internet, but I didn't really care for the clunky layout of it. But if you don't have super good internet, it's nice because you stream to one place, you stream to Restream, and then Restream sends that out to wherever you want it to go. The free version will give you 2 places max, and it doesn't support vertical as far as I know if you don't pay for it. But you could do like Twitch and YouTube for free on Restream. But with ATOM, you are streaming yourself to 2 places. So if your internet, if you usually stream at 6,000 kilobytes per second, is it kilobits or kilobytes, whatever, kbps, then your internet supports like 20,000, then you could stream up to 3 different places at the same time and not completely tank your internet. Anyway, you have so little latency, you answered in real time. But thank you, my internet is decent-ish, so hopefully it can handle it if I decide to. Yeah, it should. I mean, it'll probably be perfectly fine. I stream at about 6,000. It usually hovers between like 61 and 6,300. But I know previously I was streaming at like 3,500 and 4,500 and it wasn't too bad. But that was like way at the beginning of my streaming career, so I say it wasn't too bad, but that's a long time ago. Me trying to collect that ticket. Congratulations. Andy, I know you could Google things, but I am the kind of person who likes to hear it from somebody that I personally know. So all this stuff that I learned about it was from Kino. Kilobits per second. KB kilobytes. Okay. Small b bit, big B bytes. Okay. So yeah. Travel to the Great Halls. So apparently we are currently in Lastendel. This is Lastendel. It's showing us in Midwood Isle, but we are... Or, no, what? I thought we were supposed to travel to Lastendel. I am confused. That's fine. Hi, Winter. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. So I didn't bring my horse with me. Is it Midwood Isle, but like an alternate dimension Midwood Isle? That's what it seems like. Sorry, I'm too competitive sometimes. We all know Little Sea Ghost is like super fast at those things too, though. Yeah, this is definitely like alternate dimension Midwood Isle because there's ghosts and stuff everywhere. It's totally fine, well deserved. I think one of my favorite things that happens is when somebody gets the raffle ticket and then Gregor redeems one of the lurks because the redeem goes away, but he redeems like one of the lurks instead. Whoa, this is a big, I almost said big little, a big building. This is like Midwood Isle's version of Sovngarde, I think. Oh, I forgot to change my... I was like, why is the music so dramatic? I mean, it's advanced phalangeal kinetics, but it's because I forgot to change my stream playlist. I love this song so much. I have a mild headache. I'm so sorry. Did you take a nap? Sometimes when you take a nap and you wake up, you just have a headache and it sucks. And if you didn't take a nap, I'm sorry. Go take a nap. Warrior!
Welcome, Dragon.
Hi!
This is Lastendel, a haven for all good Sun Elves. The souls of those with achievement in their previous lives are passed.
I might go to bed soon, fair enough.
It is new that one of the living has entered here.
I need to learn the final word of power. Naps like humans turn it off and on again. Yeah, right?
I know, Dragonborn. Urkala told me. However, do not be too hasty.
Have you tried soaking yourself in rice?
So there is no rush. But first, you must complete our trials. We trust you, Dragonborn, but this word provides huge power, and we must ensure you are worthy. There are 3 great halls here. The Hall of Champions, the Hall of Scholars, and the Hall of Kings and Queens. You must earn the favor of each and receive a key, which will allow you to pass the gates in the basement and learn the word. Speak to Orisis Stormstrong to start the Scholar's trial, King Venine to start the King's trial, and myself to start the champion's trial. Good luck.
I don't know how people can take short naps if I lay down as 4 hours of abyss at minimum. Literally same, usually. So, what I have found is I always feel bad after taking naps that are that long. Anywhere between 2 to 4 hours. And it's not necessarily that I feel bad physically. Even though sometimes I do feel groggier than when I went to sleep, which then makes me feel like, well, that was a waste of time. What was the point of that? But I always, pretty much without fail, feel bad mentally because I'm like, that was a waste of time. I could have been doing things instead of sleeping. It's a bad mentality. Don't be like me. But I'm like, I could have been doing things. I shouldn't have been asleep that long. On top of it feeling like I didn't take a nap anyway. Like, what was the point? But I have found that if I take 15 to 30-minute naps, I have a really hard time waking up and actually getting up. But if I do force myself, or if something happens to force me to get up, like Tater needs to go out or Minnie wakes up or something, I always feel better. It hurts, almost hurts physically for me to wake up within that amount of time, but I always feel better about it afterwards. I'm like, okay, I didn't spend a lot of time sleeping. I actually feel more awake. And I can, I feel like I can do things now. But whenever I take a really long nap, even if my body technically needed it, I always feel worse afterward, and I hate it. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was switching my stream schedule. Not my stream schedule, my stream music. As much as I love Ryan Ike. I mean, a couple of the songs are in here anyway, but just a little bit chiller. Just Skyrim stuff. Okay, complete the Scholar's Trial. Where am I? Speak to Varir. Were you the one we were just talking to?
My descendant, Velkir, is caught by Zakris' snare and unable to continue on to Lastendel. I hope one day he'll be free.
Tell me about the Warrior's Trial.
Of course. Down in our basement is an arena where we often test ourselves. Our trial for you is that you enter this arena and fight to the death until victorious. There will be no leaving the arena until you prevail. Head down into the basement, and when you are ready, enter the arena.
I have to bring my entourage.
Now, I'm looking forward to seeing this.
I have to bring my entourage with me, because if I don't, I will just die. I hate those naps when you wake up panicked and discombobulated like Robin Williams and Jumanji. Like, what year is it? That also happens to me way too often. But it happens to me in general way too often just because I always have like these really awful, like, really vivid dreams that I think are reality. Like, last week sometime, I think I might have even talked about it on stream. I took a nap where I thought I woke up and I was taking care of Minnie. And I made dinner, and the husband came home, and we were chilling, and I was watching Billy's stream. And then my husband actually opened the door and woke me up, and I panicked because I was like, what's going on? And then I realized all of that just happened in my dream, and I was like, well, that was a waste of a nap. Not only did I sleep badly, dude, not only did I sleep badly, but I just made dinner in my dream, and now I have to go do it again? Are you serious? It was awful. I was like, this is just cheating at this point. Life is just cheating me at this point. Ebony Warrior, it was brand new. Alright, to the Hall of Champions. Well, hi! Aw, Vilcus, you're missing a tooth, buddy.
The cup dragon's still here.
Also,
Of course.
Vilcus, I'm just saying, but, hold on. Hold some of these things for me, please. Why are you still wearing a hood? Stop it. Give me that. Give me that. I want to see your luscious locks. And also your poor face. Don't you hate it when you tell someone something in your dream and you're annoyed you gotta tell them all again in real life? Uh-huh. Walk outside and pray no one talks to me because I'm not sure I can still form sentences. Wow. My light isn't on. I thought my light was on. It's just super bright in here. Wee. Well, okay, Cicero. Is there even anything here? This place looks so much bigger from the outside than it actually is on the inside. Where's the basement? How do I get to the basement? Apparently there's a hatch. Why is everything so blinding down here? It's a cave. I should be blind, not blinded. Oh gosh. That's like a cage, man.
Dancing? Surely the dread lord will at least allow poor Cicero.
There's lots of people. Cage match? No. There's no way I'm not gonna die in here. Do you think Vilcus knows how to ride a horse? Absolutely.
Watch it, Dragonborn.
Watch it. Did he just yell at me? He just yelled at me. How dare he yell at me? Enter the arena. I am very nervous right now. I should have saved. I should have saved. Can I save in the arena?
Welcome.
Yay! I have Cicero! I got my followers with me!
The grand spectacle you've all been waiting to see. In the arena, we have the one and only Dragonborn. Prepare to risk their life fighting wave after wave of creatures, all for the sake of a rusty key that they'll use once and never again. Will the Dragonborn survive the challenge, or will their blood splatter the floor of our grand arena? So sit back, relax, have a few drinks, place some bets, whilst we watch this epic display.
Oh boy. Where are they gonna come from?
Dragonborn will face off against claws and teeth, strength and speed against our very own bears.
Oh, they're ghosts and they just appear. Okay. It's a hardcore nap. If you wake up and feel like you possess your own body. I have faith in you. I have faith in you to know how to dodge out of the way. Followers destroy all in your path. Amazing. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Okay, hang on. Do I get to play the... I do. Yo. We're gonna play my spooky playlist while we do this, because I've never played this on stream before. But we have some bears to kill. Oh, he's dead. Okay, he's dead too.
Now how about that for a show? But don't leave yet. We're just getting started. Round 1 is over. But will the Dragonborn continue to survive? And now, the next round is about to begin. I hope we don't have any followers of her sing in the audience, because things are about to get wild.
That's a little awkward.
Dragonborn faces off against the pack. Werewolf.
Vilcus, I'm sorry. That being said, I do know you don't really want to be a werewolf, so... Whoa. Jeez, I can't even see what's going on. Are you... You're a bad guy. Okay, you're a bad guy. I see you. Okay, you're dead. Well, hi! Oh, jeez. This sword is kind of slow, but it's also very hard to see when you're ghosts. I'm in a lot of pain right now. Potion! Save me! Health. Potion of extreme healing. Did I drink it? I don't know if I did. I don't think I did. Oh, are potions not allowed in the arena? I think potions might not be allowed.
Display. It just looks like a Dragonborn might just survive.
Okay, in that case, I should probably... That was not what I meant to do. I should probably pull up a restoration spell. And just not fight.
For those of you who bet against them that round, you have my sympathy. Now, Dragonborn, arrange your weapons, ready your spells, and prepare to fight the
Oh, jeez. Go, go, go! You got this! Okay, I'm just gonna stay over here. I think- oh my gosh. I don't think my shout actually did anything against him, but it's fine. Oh, there's infighting. There's infighting! Hang on! There is still infighting. Okay, we're good. Gotta turn him off and back on again, right?
These folks were a nightmare to bring down here. Dust everywhere, the smell of death and decay. Oh, and the occasional mutilation of whoever comes near. I present our dragon priest and Draugr.
Ah! It spawned on me! That's not okay. Here, have a dude! Oh my gosh, Dragon Priest is getting absolute chunked off right now. Go, Janessa, go! Go, Janessa, go! Dang, this Dragon Priest ain't nothing. Look at him. He's not even doing anything. He's just standing there getting killed. Easy. I mean, I had a whole army with me, but easy.
Give it up for the Dragonborn, champion of the arena. Dragonborn, you may now leave the arena. And might I add, congratulations. Come and see me.
Thank you for the daily check-in. Thank you for the Gurk. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, my friend. I did it! They did it for me, but it's fine. Okay, let me get my sword. And you know what? We'll leave this playlist on while we do these, quests. This is a pretty cool playlist. I've honestly not listened to most of these songs before. I've listened to enough of them to know that I thought they were creepy. Oh, hey, look! They're fighting! Okay, speak to Borir, who is over here. Well, hi there.
Haha, Dragonborn! I've not seen a fight like that in an age!
It was an army versus ghosts!
Surprised even me. You fight well.
Well, thanks. Can I have the key?
Of course, my friend. You've earned it. Might I add, after seeing the way you fight, I think Zachris himself is...
Gotta go. I've got work before the sun rises again. No, little seagulls, don't leave me. Who's gonna fight Gregor for the raffle tickets?
Believe it.
Key of Champions. I did it. Alright, cool. So now we do... There's 2 more trials to complete. Orisis Storm Song and something else. Oh, brutal. Good night, Sea Ghost. Yeah, right. I'm so sorry, first of all, but also, no leaving! Just quit your job. It's fine. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Have a good night, little Sea Ghost. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Alright, I'm saving again. Don't worry. Whee! Hall of Kings and Queens. I don't know if these guys are affected by this particular voice thing, so I'll just boost the master volume. And we'll see what happens.
Dragonborn, it is my honor to welcome you to Lastendale, home of those deemed as worthy as any among us.
Honestly, what if I could? Good night. Love you, little sea ghost. Thank you again for the sub earlier. But Tad almost bullied me into a 24-hour stream. I did no such thing.
Yes, Dragonborn, a king should be a representative
Whoops, sorry.
of the best in all men. You should be strong, compassionate, honorable, and wise. We would like you to prove these values within yourself to earn our favor. I will come with you down into our basement, where you will face challenges that will test your worth from these values. Meet me down in the first room of the basement when you are ready.
Why do all of these things happen in the basements? Alright.
Goodbye, Dragonborn. May we meet again someday.
I'll see you in like 30 seconds, my guy. But that being said, Dastardly Doctor, you should do a 24-hour stream. That would be real cool. There's a lot of books in here.
A king should know the land he is ruling, its people and its history. You must prove worthy of our customs by answering questions about Midwood Isle.
Oh boy.
You should be able to find the answer in books, all of which should be in this library. The first question is, which king ruled in the 100th year of the Fourth Era? I can tell you the answer lies in the book entitled Kings of Midwood Isle, version 5.
Well, I guess it depends on if I can actually read them. It is so bright! You expect me to be able to- I bet I have it in my inventory. Kings of Midwood Isle... V5. Which king- the 100th year of the Fourth Era. King Skyrim and Queen Nazmara.
Which king ruled in the 100th year of the Fourth Era?
That's not even an option.
Remember, a good...
Aw, man, Little Sea Ghost left right before a raffle ticket came up. That's wild. Kings of Midwood Isle. Congrats, Gregor. 100th year of the Fourth Era. Is it King Locan? Oh, King Vaemond. It's not who became okay. King
He never
Vaemond.
goes unrewarded, even if you have to wait your whole... Correct. Vonman ruled alongside Queen Catriel. Okay, the next question is, what famous event happened on Midwood Isle on the 122nd year of the Fourth Era? I can tell you the answers within the book, The Sonmer's Near Extinction.
122nd year of the Fourth Era? Meowsies! Smells like Poota in here. Wow, Meowsies. How's it going, friend? Nice to see you. And Gregor, congrats on your raffle ticket.
But if that's your wish,
Oh, there's so many books on the table, and they're all like... Can I take these, by the way? I can. What is that one? On Stepping Lightly. The Dowry. I just want some of these for the museum. Because apparently there's quite a few here that I don't have. Flight from the Thalmor. The Fall of the Snow Prince. Oh gosh. This song used to creep me out so badly. It doesn't creep me out anymore. I like it, but... Yellow Book of Riddles. I can't see my UI. What is this one? Rising Threat Volume 2. Uncommon Taste. There's so many books. Dance and Fire, Hope the Veteran. Railband Zaya, Doors of Oblivion. Sun's Height. Black Arrow, Halgard's Tale. Where is it? Pala, Wolf Queen. Brief History of the Empire, Dance and Fire, Oblivion Crisis. Herbane's Beastier on Hagravens. Fall from Glory, Killing Before You're Killed. There are so many books here. The Dragon Break. Could Skyrim be a blueprint to world peace? If somehow dragon attacks began happening worldwide, would we forget our differences and prejudices to unite against a common enemy? Is that what Bethesda created this game for? To lead us to world peace through the fiery sacrifice of being attacked by dragons? Absolutely. I mean, in times of crises, a lot definitely changes, that's for sure. We are definitely getting complacent in the US, that's for sure. The Great War, there would be dragons! At least one nation would side with the dragons. Honestly, I think a lot of nations would side with the dragons. There's a lot of people that just don't like the human race. Thief of Virtue. Dance and Fire Volume 5. I'm picking up a lot of books right now. And I genuinely can't find the one that he told me the answer is in. Wraith's Wedding Dowry. I don't know if I've read that book. Cats of Skyrim. Bear of Markarth. Real Baron's Eye, Volume 3. Words of Clan Mother Nisi. Dragons would promise immortality or some nonsense. Would we really be able to understand them though? Would there be a Dragonborn that can understand the dragons? Or would there be someone claiming to be a Dragonborn that can't actually understand it but takes to social media for their own? Oh my gosh, there's so many books! Tale of Kieran, the Wolf Queen. Oh my gosh. From Frog to Man, Wayrest Ruled the ABCs for Barbarians. Some books in here that I've never seen. We might have some reading to do. Book of Dawn and Dusk, Book of Circles. Real Baron's Eye, Volume 1. I'm My Own Grandpa, Jokester Malik. Okay. Goodness gracious. Siding with the dragons doesn't guarantee they don't attack you. They might not care at all who sides with them. This is true. King Edward Volume 5, Prophet Art and Soul Volume 2. Guide to Chaindenhall. Is that a book from Oblivion? War of Bethany Favre. There's a lot of books in here I don't recognize. Oh, of course, dragons only look out for themselves, but that wouldn't stop some nations from being opportunistic. Yeah, right. 36 Lessons of Vivek. The Last Theory we had made. The Shivering Bestiary. Wolf Queen Volume 5. Biography of Renzaya. Pala. I genuinely can't find the book that he was talking about. 36 Lessons of... Okay. Light and Lure. Oh, there's still a, there's a table full of books over here too. You're kidding me. Pirate King of the Abyssinian, Waking Worlds, The Monomyth, Kings of Midwood Isle, V5, Book of the Dragonborn, Wolf Queen Volume 7, The Delay of Zachris, A Minor Maze, Biography of Banzaya, Cross Daggers, Madmen of the Reach, Ancestor Moth, Brief History of the Empire, Dance and Fire, Steven! Nice to see you. Thank you so much for the daily check-in! Replace dragons with aliens in Independence Day is basically what I was thinking of. Oh my gosh. Manifest is here. Oh my gosh, there's so many books that I haven't seen before. Krendal's Drunken Song. Alright. Oh gosh. King Edward Volume 2, Legendary Minds of Midwood Isle, Terror of Kieran Volume 2. The Stranger. Oh jeez.
Is that your voice I hear?
I'd like to think we do not like Independence Day, or to keep it in video games, EDF, but I feel like it'd be like XCOM 2 with more Cinemas or Takeover. Currently in the middle of an MDG Commander game. I've been looking for a bit. I appreciate you! I hope you're having fun with your Commander game. I am going cross-eyed. The Broken Diamonds, I don't think I've read that book. Epic of the Grey Falcon, I don't recognize that. Y'all, I have so many books to read right now. Oh my gosh, there's more! Yes, Animal God. Oh, it's literally, okay. Well, I didn't realize that it had a thing over it. My bad. Life of a Beggar Prince. Mystery of Talara. Song of the Skeld Man. Is this like every book in the game? The Sunmer's near extinction. What happened on Midwood Isle 1/22nd year of the 4th era? During the reign of King Siloran and Queen Elsmara, we were plagued with the most freezing winter to ever hit Midwood Isle. This cold spot happened a few months before the Great Collapse, and so many of our scholars believe the two to be linked in some way. I need that book. Don't put it down.
What famous event happened on Midwood Isle?
A freezing winter.
Correct. The cold made it impossible to find food. Yet somehow Isrido Fossbeer managed it. Now the final question is, what year was Tamron Swiftwind born? The answer should be within a book called Legendary Minds of Midwood Isle.
I picked that book up.
He says to the man.
I picked that book up. Legendary Minds of Midwood Isle. JK. Oh. what's his name? Tamrin Swiftwind. Born during the 289th year of the Third Era. So 3E289.
That's my wife.
What year was Tamron Swiftwind born?
There we go.
Correct. Tamron was known for her skill at trading and was responsible for setting up trade with Skyrim and High Rock. Congratulations, you've passed this room. You may move on to the next.
Amazing. Well, I don't know if I can go to the second room because I just picked up like 17 books that I need to read. 17 might be a low estimate too, so... Here we go. Here we go. We're gonna read. It's been a while since I've read Skyrim books on stream. Cicero's journals don't quite count. But we have... Oh, we picked up more of the King Edward books. That's cool. So let's see what we have now. 36 lessons of Vivek. Those are new. I don't know how many of them there are, but we might as well start with 12 and 34. There are 36 lessons of Vivek. Sermon 12. As the Hortator pondered... What's a Hortator? I don't know what that is. Sorry. As the Hortator pondered the first lesson of ruling kings, Vivek wandered into the morning hold and found that Am was with a pair of lovers. Set had divided himself again. Vivek then leapt through into their likeness to observe, but he gained no secrets that he did not already know. He left behind a few of his own to make the journey worthwhile. Then Vivek left the capital of Veloth and wandered far into the ash. He found a span of badlands to practice his giant form. He made of his feet a less dense material than the divine to keep from falling waist deep into the earth. At this point, the first corner of the House of Troubles, the Prince Molag Bal made his presence known. You got honey for that, sweet tea? Might help your voice preemptively. Unfortunately, all the honey that I have in this house is crystallized. So it would take a little bit of time for it to actually become liquid. But it's okay. Vivek looked on the king of... the Molag Bal and said, "How very beautiful you are that you do not join us." And Molag Bal crushed the warrior poet's feet, which were not invulnerable, and had legions cleave them off. Mighty fires from the beginning place were brought like nets to hold Vivek, and he let them. "I would prefer," he said, "some kind of ceremony if we are to be married." And the legions that took the feet were summoned again and ordered to begin a banquet. Pomegranates sprang from the Badlands, and tents were raised. A throng of Velothi mystics came, reading the passages of the severed feet on the ground and weeping until the scriptures were wet. "We must love each other briefly," Vivek said. "If at all, I am needed to counsel the Hortator in more important matters, because the Dwemer high priests stir up trouble. You may have my head for an hour." Molag Bal rose up and extended 6 arms to show his worth. They were decorated in runes of seduction in its reverse. They were decorated in the annotated calendars of longer worlds. When he spoke, mating monsters fell out. "Where must it go?" he said. "I told you," Vivek said. "I am meant to be the teacher of the king of the earth, Altadun Grotork Padhom." With these magic words, Molag Bal added another, Chim, which is the secret syllable of royalty. "My messenger pigeons can't carry enough honey to be worth it, or I'd send some. They're used to paper." You could send them holding those little honey sticks that you find in the... There's not enough honey in those, and they stick to the sides too badly. Like, there's too much honey wasted in those things. Anyway, Vivek had what he needed from the Daedroth, and so married him that day. That's some frozen stuff right there. Anyway, in the hour that Baal had his head, he asked for proof of love. Vivek spoke 2 poems to show him such, but only the first is known. "I'm not sure just how much glass it took to make your hair, twice as much I am sure as the oceans have to share. Heck, my sweet is a fiction written by those who tell the truth. My mouth is skilled at lying, and its alibi a tooth." The sons and daughters of Vivek and Molag Bal number in the thousands. The name of the mightiest is a string of power. Golgamor Jill Hyatt. At whom? The ending of the words is Almsivi. Okay, I didn't realize was Vivek? Okay, anyway. What a book cover, don't look at that. These are a little questionable, but I'm censoring as we go. When Vivek left the Ministry of Truth and went back to the space that was not a space, from the provisional house, he looked into the middle world to find the 8th and final and mightiest monster called Golga Morgil and more. The wise must look elsewhere for this string of power. Vivek called to his side the Hortator, and this was the first time that Nerevar had ever been to the provisional house. He had the same vision that Vivek had so many years ago, that of the two-headed ruling king. Who is that? He wondered. Vivek said, the red jewel of conquest. Nerevar, perhaps because he was frightened, became vexed at his lord's answer. Why are you always so evasive? Vivek told the Hortator that to be otherwise was to betray his nature. Together they moved into the middle world, to a village near where Vivek had been found by Ayam and Set. The 8th monster was there, but he did not act much like a monster. He sat with his legs in the ocean and a troubled look on his face. When he saw his mother-father, he asked why he should have to die and return to oblivion. Vivek told the 8th monster that to be otherwise was to betray his nature. Since this did not seem to satisfy the monster, and Vivek still had a touch of Ayam's mercy, he said, the fire is mine, let it consume thee, and make a secret door at the altar of Padhome in the house of Boeotia. Oh, is that Boethia? In the house of Boethia, where we became safe and looked after. The monster accepted Muatra with a peaceful look, and his bones became the foundation for the city of the dead, Anon Narcissus. Nerevar put away his axe, which he had at the ready, and frowned. Why, he said, did you ask me to come if you knew the 8th monster would give in so easily? Vivek looked at the Hortator for a long time. Nerevar understood. Do not betray your nature. Answer as you will. Vivek said, I brought you here because I knew the mightiest of my issue would succumb to Muatra without argument, if only I gave him consolation first. Nerevar looked at Vivek for a long time. Vivek understood. Say the words, Hortator. Nerevar said, now I am the mightiest of your children. Let this sermon be consolation to those who read it that are destined to die. The ending of the words is Almsivi. So Almsivi, it seems like, is the real world amen, I think. Okay, so that is the 36 lessons of Vivek. We only have 12 and 34. A Tale of Kirin. We only have 2 and 4, but those are books that we haven't read. ABC's for Barbarians. Have we seen this? A is for Atronak? Okay, we actually have. I didn't think I recognized it, but we have seen it. Broken Diamonds. I don't recognize this book. By Riston Baylor. I remember as a young lad in Glenumbra Moors my first Broken Diamonds holiday. The big, noisy festivals I remember very well. Harvest's End, Mid-Year, New Year, the Emperor's Day. All of these I have memories of that stretch back before I became truly aware of the meaning of our celebrating. On the 19th of Frostfall, every year, my family and I would walk to a ruined castle in the middle of the wilderness, together with everyone else we knew in the moors. Hands clutched in hands, we would form an enormous circle around the ruins and heads reverently bowed, we would sing a song, the Sepharv. For years we did this, and I never asked why. It is an odd thing that normally curious children, from my experience, never ask questions about broken diamonds, and adults seldom volunteer information. Gradually, as we learn about our homeland through university, or the prattling of ancient relatives, we come to guess, and then we know the meaning of broken diamonds. I cannot be objective as a native of Glenumbra Moors, but visitors have told me that the sorrow, more often they use the word shame, of the natives is almost overwhelming. There is a sense that a great and ancient crime still burns in the conscience of the people of the Moors. Though it did not happen in our lifetimes, we know that the debt is not yet paid. I refer, of course, to the murder of Her Terrible Majesty, Kintria II, Empress of Tamriel, on the frozen morning of the 23rd of Frostfall in the year 3E123. We do not know the name of the castle where she was held. We do not know the name of her murderer, though the man who ordered the murder was her cousin and usurper, Uriel III. We do not know where she was buried, but our ancestors knew that their rightful ruler was imprisoned somewhere in their land and did nothing to help her. For that, we bear their shame. On that morning, when our great-great-grandparents heard of Kintria's death, all were stricken with horror and regret at their lack of action. All the people of Glenpoint and Glenumbra Moors searched out those responsible in every imperial castle. They formed barriers with their bodies to hold the killer within. Flags bearing the red diamond of the Septim family were torn and scattered, and broken diamonds littered the snow. The song we sing every broken diamonds, as I mentioned before, is the I don't know how to say that, I'm sorry. I asked everyone in Glenumbra Moor what the meaning of the song is, for it is an old Bretic, and each generation only knows it because they were taught by their parents. No one knew the exact meaning of the words, not even the tone and emotion of the words can be easily translated. When I later talked to a scholar who gave me an accurate translation of the Safaver, I began to understand both why our ancestors chose it as the anthem for the great injustice of the murder of Kintria II, and the sorrow that still pervades Glenumbra Moors since that dark morn. And this is the song. Souls of our fathers suffer deeply, for you have led us to the dark time, when our own souls filled with air allowed ignorance and villainy to thrive in what used to be our land. Howl, ancestors, howl and bring us memories of our conformance with evil. We do anything we can to survive, giving up our minds and hearts and bodies. We will not fight, and we will be torn. And like flotsam in a whirling tide, we will be forever the agents of injustice, but we will mourn it forever. Right. Broken Diamonds. We have Crindle's Drunken Song. Crindle the Town Drunk's Drunken Song, attributed to Crindle the Breton. Well, this one might be crazy, we'll see. Okay. Is it an alphabet? A is for the apes that date their mothers. B is for the boils they pop for fun. C is for the water sailors sail on. D is for the lumps upon. Balter! Thank you so much for the raid! Nice to see you! Odin, nice to see you! Luna, nice to see you! Hello, hello! Welcome in, everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful night. Balter, how was your stream? You played Manami Lane! Oh my gosh, how did you like it? Did you finish it tonight? It's a pretty short game. It's so cute, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Hi, Luna! Nice to see you. Welcome in. We're doing modded Skyrim right now, so if you are regular Skyrim, don't worry, this isn't regular Skyrim. That's right, I was aimed at Luna. Welcome in, everyone. Hope you're doing well. We're reading some modded books right now. Lots and lots of modded books. We just read a couple of weird ones, and then also a really interesting one about a song. Just got into the third mission to play the where I played it before that. It went well, and yes, I love the art style. I love it too. It's super cute. Yeah, it's not too long. You'll definitely finish it next time you stream. Guys, please go give Balter a big ol' follow. She is Odin's partner and absolutely fantastic and absolutely amazing. Obviously, we love Odin here. So go give her a big ol' follow, and please give love and support as much as you can. Have you made it to are you an affiliate yet? I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure you have the followers, right? But you're more than welcome to let me know. But yeah, if not, then go get her to affiliate. Go give her a follow. You did just make it. Okay, perfect. I love helping people get to affiliate. I was like, I'm gonna make everybody in my chat follow you. I'm gonna make everyone in my chat follow you anyway. But like, go do it. Everybody go hit the follow button. And congratulations! If you like Patet streams, you'll love Balter's streams. She's much more like Patet than I am. Yeah, no, Odin and I are not very similar at all. But that's okay. We still love each other. We're still great friends. Don't worry, Balter, not like that. Or do worry. I'm just kidding. Anyways, it's fine. But congratulations. I'm super happy for you. Thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate it. Welcome in, everyone. If you do need to raid and run, I know. If you do need to raid and run, no worries. I completely understand. I know. Love you. Anyway, if you don't know who I am for some reason, then I'm the one with Patet. I am family friendly. It's mostly. Sometimes I get a little unhinged, but it's fine. Family friendly, cozy family friendly. I forgot how to say my words. How do raid message go again? Skyrim variety. Yep. I'm struggling right now. I genuinely can't remember what I usually say, even though it usually rolls off my tongue. Anyway, we do Skyrim Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. We do variety on Tuesday, and we do Jackbox on Friday. Hot potato mama. I wouldn't really say I'm hot. Raid video? You know what? This is a good idea. This is a good idea. Let's throw a raid video on so I don't have to think. 3, 2, wait, hold on. 3, hold on. Nope, I shouldn't do a countdown when I don't know where my raid videos are. Here they are. Go!
How are you? It's fine. It's fine. We landed on our wheels. We didn't land on our wheels. We're good. We're not good.
Oops, there's a hole there.
There's a hole there. Oh my gosh.
You look like one of those like scared cats. But okay, so
it does the thing. It does the thing where it disappears. I wasn't ready for that, and now I'm panicking and I can't get up. Oh my god! What? I just.
bye, Patat.
What do you mean bye? You're coming with me.
I want to catch the worm. I want to milk it.
I want to ride it. Hello, can I ride you? Can we milk you?
We can milk him. Let's milk it.
I was gonna ride on it. That works.
I mean, maybe you can ride it. What? It was so fast.
Get off my cheese, Vilcus. Rude. Don't stand on somebody's cheese wheels. I'm not being stealthy. I'm being scared. There's a difference. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Why won't you die? Western Watchtower discovered.
No, get back.
Why is everything in this game scare me?
That was weird. I'm not entirely sure why, but like it froze in the middle. Sorry about that. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. You know my cheese, Vilka. There's no soap in that soup. Chained Together was so much fun. I really had a lot of fun playing it out with Billy. But yeah, so today we are we're playing Skyrim, but I got distracted might be a strong word. I am in the game at least for once, okay? I didn't just yap for 5 hours. But I came into this room and there are so many books. Literally so many books that I have never seen before because a lot of them are modded books. So we're reading those. Oh, I just realized there's a skill book right there off to the side that I haven't looked at either apparently. Anyway, so we're reading some books right now. And then I will say as well, if you are able to, and I'll say don't leave Twitch unless, or I prefer you to stay on Twitch if you can only have one tab up, but if you can support me on YouTube as well and pull that tab up, I do have a pinned message at the top and it would help a lot if you pulled me up, tab me up on YouTube, just to try to pull my, my watch hours up there. But if not, that's okay. Like I said, I prefer to keep everybody on Twitch right now because I would like to get partner one day. It'll be a while, but if, like I said, if you can help, then that would be awesome. But if not, that's okay. So yeah, we're currently reading a book called Crindle the Town Drunk's Drunken Song, and I'm playing a different playlist today, so it's a little bit more atmospheric. Is that the word? It's a little creepier than normal, but it's fine. So this is attributed to Crindle the Breton, who is apparently the town drunk. A is for the apes that date their mothers. B is for the boils they pop for fun. C is for the water sailors sail on. D is for the lumps upon their tongues. E is for the eels they eat for breakfast. F is for the fleas that swarm within their shorts. G is for the grog they swill by the gallons. H is for the hair upon their warts. Ew, the lumps. Yeah, right. I is what they poke out with their fingers. J is for the jerks they give on ropes. K is for the cats they drown in bags. L is for the love they give to goats. M is for the marks of 50 lashes. N is for their smarts, for they have none! Oh my gosh! N is for their smarts, for they have none, is freaking wild. I love that. Horts! Yeah, right. The lumps and horts. N is for their smarts, for they have none. Oh my gosh. Alright, anyway. O is for the oceans they get lost in. P is for their pox and scurvy gums. Q is for the quick butts fit for pounding. R is for wrong, and wrong they'll always be. S is stinky, just like sailors' armpits. T is for the ticks that eat their fleas. That is disgusting. U is for the urgent needs of manhood. V is for the vegetables they won't eat, bro, same. W is for the weevils in their hardtack. X's mark the spots on all their maps. What? Why, oh why we cry must our song end. Z, the zoanthropic girls of our hometowns. What? What is this book and why is it so funny? R is for wrong. It's a drunkard. He doesn't know how to spell. It's fine. He thinks, hey, if you've never seen the word wrong spelled out, you would think it began with an R too. Crindle's Drunken Song. Amazing book. Alright, what's next? We have Fall of the Snow Prince? I have seen that one. Okay, so Fire and Darkness, Flight from Thalmor, Forgotten Seasons. This is volume 1. From Frog to Man. This I've definitely never seen before. From Frog to Man, by Mikas Ralbreck. From Frog to Man. The life cycle of the Grummite is rather unique. They appear to be a deviant version of frogs and may even be distantly related to Argonians, although I have no direct evidence of that. Like the humble frog, the Grummite is born from eggs found in or near water. The eggs hatch into tiny pollywogs, no bigger than my hand. The pollywog grows quickly, and inside of a few weeks grows limbs and changes into an amphibious Bullywug. The Bullywug will live up for 2 years, growing to be larger than a man in both length and weight. Eventually, the adult Bullywug will feel the urge to seek out deep water and bury itself in the mud. It hibernates there for many months, gestating into a Grummite. I have been unable to determine the exact amount of time of gestation. The Grummite emerges from the mud fully grown. New Grummites never leave the water and are consumed with the urge to mate. Females leave the water to hang their eggs. Hang their eggs? They are hung over the water to keep them out of the reach of aquatic predators while still allowing the pollywogs to fall into the water when they hatch. Once a female has laid her eggs, she turns her back on them. She will live her life more on land than in water, although never far from it. The male's mating urges subside after 6 months to a year. He too takes to the land, and like the female, does nothing to protect his eggs. What awful parents! Adult Grummites have a sort of primitive culture. Crafton Highbrow maintains that they are cunning craftsmen that make jewelry and weapons, even mining ore. This is plainly ridiculous. Although I have not determined the source of their tools and adornments, I am certain that they trade with other civilized races for such things. As for tales of magic casting Grummites, well, that's even more ludicrous. While their primitive brains are surprisingly large, they clearly do not have the intelligence to learn the arcane crafts. I do not know how Crafton managed to train his pet Grummite to cast spells, but I assure all my readers that it is a trick of some sort. Ooh. I wonder if there's a book that, like, goes against that. Gourmet Guide to Chainsaw. E.S. Animal God. By Bullier Soma. Warthog, hi Raider, nice to see you. I already forgot what the name of this book is. E.S. Animal God, okay. The statues one sees throughout Valenwood and parts of Hammerfell and elsewhere that happen to be of a misshapen humanoid carrying a rod are of E.S., god of animals. Okay. I have to tell you guys something really quick. So you see the word misshapen. For a very, 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 very long time, I thought that word was mishappen. I don't know when it was exactly, but somebody finally, like when we were reading something in school, like finally said misshapen, and I was like, that sounds weird. Why does that sound like a correct word? What is that? Misshapen. Oh my god, and it clicked. I had read that word as mishappen, like, for my entire life that I had ever seen that word. I thought it was mishappen. And then misshapen just like clicked in my mind when I heard it one day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, no way! Anyway. You may or may not be today years old now that you're also learning this. Misshapen, yeah, right? So Aeus, the god of animals. The rod he carries has its origin in the tale of the ox and the evil farmer. It seems, I want to read that. It seems that one day an evil farmer decided to kill all his animals and have a big party. As the story unfolds, animal after animal is killed and prepared for a big meal. Lastly, the farmer comes to the ox and prepares to kill it. The ox, not wishing to be anybody's dinner, prayed very vocally to Aeus. This came out as a loud moo, of course. Okay. At that very instant, Aeus appeared carrying a rather large set of balance weights. Without explanation, Aeus ate the farmer and vanished. What? But why? But why, though? Why did I also happen to look over right when you did that? Gosh, you scared me. I know that was the point, but jeez. I do appreciate the bits, though. Hi, Chaos. Nice to see you. My gosh. How's it going, Chaos? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Anyway, so apparently Aeus ate the farmer and vanished. Ever since that day, Aeus, the extremely agitated, has always been portrayed as carrying a large set of scales with him. The local Aeus worshippers have no idea why and do not seem to care. Although this story has been called fanciful at best, I personally know a raccoon who had actually talked to the ox. Is this guy crazy? That is before the ox became filler for the local inn's larder. Oh. After all that, I do not have any information one way or the other about the validity of this second myth. It is, however, quite traditional. It seems that many years ago, before the reign of Uriel Septim VII, before the reign of Sepphoris Septim II, yes, even before the age of Pelagius Septim III, long may his name be praised, there lived a wombat who was the pet of Lady Grelina, daughter of the Lord Prufrock of Rock Creek. Lady Grelina loved her wombat so, and it loved her too with all the passionate intensity a marsupial can muster. Unfortunately, it was a time of great sorrow in Rock Creek. A pestilence had come through the town, destroying all their cash crops, which consisted of raspberries and a few scraggly odd weeds that caused Argonian women to look very attractive to those who partook. Then a plague had come, inflicting nearly every cobbler with chronic hiccups? Why did they spell hiccups like hiccoughs? Finally, a witch had cursed the townspeople, so the only words any could utter were, precisely. All the businesses, stores, and guilds fled from that town faster than an extremely fast thing. Okay. Lady Grelina saw her father despairing the loss the town was suffering, so she brought him her wombat and told him, "Father, my wombat can save us all, for it is sacred to the god Aeus, god of animals." The only reason I didn't tell you earlier is because I am an early adolescent going through that period when I don't like to communicate. But please, ask a wish of my wombat and Aeus will fulfill it, for my wombat loves me. This book is crazy. The king thought this was fairly flaky, but he had nothing to lose, so he uttered a modest wish to the wombat. "All I want is for one business to come to Rock Creek that will never leave, no matter the calamity." I probably should have mentioned before that the king had always been cruel to the wombat. He used to lick it and try to make it stick to walls. So the wombat had Aeus create an equipment store in front of the palace gate that would never go away. The royal family ended up going mad and eating one another, and ironically the wombat was one of the first to go. But that is why there is to this day an equipment store blocking the palace gate at Rock Creek. If you don't believe me, go there and see. What? What is that book? He used to lick it and try to make it stick to the walls. The wombat. Why? Let's go to Rock Creek. Does it exist? Not on this map, at least. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. We'll have to go to Rock Creek and see if we can find that. I'm so glad I read that book. That was ridiculous. Alright, what else do we have? King Edward. Oh, look at that. So we have 2, 5, 6, and 8. There's a lot of books here. Legendary Mines of Midwood Isle. Did we actually read this book? I know we got an answer out of it. Tamarin Swiftwind. Yes. Okay. Legions of the Dead. Legions of the Dead. Yes, we have read that before. Let's see. What else do we have? Out Harris Line and Lore. Lost Wonders of the Ages. Malrus's Journal. Manifesto Cyrodiil Vampirium. That's different. Manifesto Cyrodiil Vampirum. To you whom we have seen, stalking at night by eyes keen, transcendent of savages, sating thirst sans avarice, your coffers stay stuffed by social graces robust. None know your nature, save us. None share your fate, save us. None welcome you as kin, save us. On our order, know first that we are no simple tribe of savages tearing throats with the orgiastic abandon of our scattered tribal brethren. That was quite the first sentence. Ours is a civil fraternity to which we are bound, every one by our dual hunger for flesh and influence, by the virtue of imperial structure and bureaucracy. There's a lot of big words here. Cyrodiil has become our stronghold in the Third Era, and we suffer no savage rivals within our boundaries, reveal ourselves to none, and manipulate the hand of society to met out our agendas. On our dual patrons, to Kinfather Molag Bal, who brought forth the blood matron Lamai to spite Arkay, we owe our existence, as do all vampires, though not all honor him. For him we revel in the feast, and acknowledge the gift adrift in our veins. To patron Clavicus Vile, beacon o'er our affairs, we owe our successes and social stature. Our bond with Vile makes us unique among our kind, for his guidance steals our savage craving with reason and savvy. For him we live amidst mankind, and twist them to our will from offices of power. On our rivals, most barbaric tribes think themselves powerful by the gift of Baal's blood alone, squander the gift. There are those, however, who show signs of enlightenment and earn our attention. Those, such as the Glenmoral Weird, who live within the walls of Breton cities, or the Wetfang sodality of Blackmarsh, who use magicka to keep captives catatonic and harvest from them the red nectar. These foes may one day threaten to impugn our sovereignty within boundaries of Cyrodiil, thus compelling our vigilance. Should any encroach upon our dominion, our wrath must be swift and total. Somebody had a lot of fun with a thesaurus with this book. On our conduct! To preserve our ideals and way of life, 2 primary edicts shall be observed. Above all, reveal thyself and our order to no other, for discretion is the greatest of our virtues. Do not feed where you may be found out, or on those who may suspect your passing. Avoid daylight by lifestyle, dispel common belief in our kind, and maintain supple appearance through satisfaction of the thirst. Second, devote your pursuits to the procurement of influence, political and otherwise. Our strength is not in physical numbers, but in skillful manipulation of society. Always be mindful of our patrons and preserve the order. Devote yourself to these ideals always, and the order shall count you amongst our own. Somebody had a lot of fun with a thesaurus in that. Okay. Night falls on Sentinel. Apparently this is one-handed. No music played in the nameless tavern in Sentinel, and indeed there was very little sound except for discreet, cautious murmurs of conversation, the soft pad of the barmaid's feet on stone, and the delicate slurping of the regular patrons, tongues lapping at their flagons, eyes focused on nothing at all. If anyone were less otherwise occupied, the sight of the young Redguard woman in a fine black velvet cape might have aroused surprise, even suspicion. As it was, the strange figure, out of place in an underground cellar so modest that it had no sign, blended into the shadows. Are you Jomic? The stout middle-aged man, with a face older than his years, looked up and nodded. He returned to his drink. The young woman took the seat next to him. My name is Habala, she said, and pulled out a small bag of gold, placing it next to his mug. Sure it be, snarled Yomik, and met her eyes again. Who do you want dead? She did not turn away, but merely asked, Is it safe to talk here? No one cares about nobody else's problems but their own here. You could take off your own cuirass and dance bare on table, and no one even spit. The man smiled. So, who do you want dead? No one, actually, said Habala. Truth is, I only want someone removed for a while. Not harmed, you understand. And that's why I need a professional. You come highly recommended. Who you been talking to? Asked Yomik dully, returning to his drink. A friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. One of them friends don't know what he's talking about, grumbled the man. I don't do that anymore. Habala quietly took out another purse of gold, and then another, placing them at the man's elbow. He looked at her for a moment and then poured out the gold and began counting. As he did, he asked, Who do you want removed? Just a moment, smiled Habala, shaking her head. Before we talk details, I want to know that you're a professional and you won't harm this person very much and that you'll be discreet. You want discreet? The man paused in his counting. Alright, well, I'll tell you about an old job of mine. It's been, by Ark, I can hardly believe it, more than 20 years, and no one but me is alive who had anything to do with the job. This is back before the time of the War of Brittany. Remember that? I was just a baby. Course you was, Yomik smiled. Everyone knows that King Alotan had an older brother Grecolith who died, right? And then he's got his older sister Abki, what married that king fella in Daggerfall. But the truth's that he had 2 elder brothers. Really? Habala's eyes glistened with interest. No lie, he chuckled. Weedy, feeble fella called Arthago, the king and queen's firstborn. Anyhow, this prince was heir to the throne, which his parents weren't too thrilled about. But then the queen, she squeezed out 2 more princes who looked a lot more fit. That's when me and my boys got hired on, to make it look like the first prince got took off by the Under King or some such story. I had no idea, the young woman whispered. Of course you didn't, that's the point. Yomik shook his head. Discretion, like you said. We bagged the boy, dropped him off deep in an old ruin, and that was that. No fuss, just a couple of fellas, a bag, and a club. That's what I'm interested in, said Habala. Technique. My friend, who needs to be taken away, is weak also, like this prince. What is the club for? It's a tool. So many things what was better in the past ain't around no more, just 'cause the people today prefer ease of use to what works right. Let me explain. There are 71 prime pain centers in an average fella's body. Elves and Khajiit, being so sensitive and all, only got 3 and 4 more respectively. Argonians and Slodes, almost as many at 52 and 67. Yomik used his short, stubby finger to point out each region on Habala's body. 6 in your forehead, 2 in your brow, 2 on your nose, 7 in your throat, 10 in your chest, 9 in your abdomen, 3 on each arm, 12 in your groin, 4 in your favored leg, 5 in the other. That's 63, replied Habala. No, it's not, growled Yomik. Yes, it is, the young lady cried back, indignant that her mathematical skills were being questioned. 6 plus 2, plus 2 plus 7, plus 10, plus 9, plus 3 for one arm, and 3 for the other, plus 12, plus 4, plus 5. 63. Coffee, did you do that? Can you tell me if that's actually 63? I must have left some out, shrugged Yomik. The important thing is that to become skilled with a staff or club, you've got to master these pain centers. Done right, a light tap could kill or knock out without so much as a bruise. Fascinating, smiled Habala. And no one ever found out? Why would they? The boy's parents, the king and queen, they're both dead now. The other children always thought their brother got carried off by the Under King. That's what everyone thinks. And all my partners are dead. Of natural causes? Ain't nothing natural that ever happens in the bay, you know that. One fella got sucked up by one of them Selenu. Another died of that same plague that took the queen and Prince Grecolith. Another fella got himself beat up to death by a burglar. You gotta keep low, out of sight, like me, if you want to stay alive. Yomik finished counting the coins. You must want this fella out of the way bad. Who is it? It's better if I show you, said Habala, standing up. Without a look back, she strode out of the nameless tavern. Yomek drained his beer and went out. The night was cool, with an unrestrained wind surging off the water of Iliac Bay, sending leaves flying like whirling shards. Habala stepped out of the alleyway next to the tavern and gestured to him. As he approached her, the breeze blew open her cape, revealing the armor beneath and the crest of the King of Sentinel. The fat man stepped back to flee, but she was too fast. In a blur, he found himself in the alley on his back, the woman's knee pressed firmly against his throat. Our king has spent years since he took the throne looking for you and your collaborators, Yomek. His instructions to me what to do when I found you were not specific, but you've given me an idea. From her belt, Habala removed a small, sturdy cudgel. A drunk stumbling out of the bar heard a whimpered moan, accompanied by a soft whisper coming from the darkness of the alleyway. Let's keep better count this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, dang! 12 in the groin, yeah, right? Emerald, thank you for the daily check-in, thank you for the chirk. Also, the fact that that lined up perfectly with the end of the song, like, that made me way happier than it probably should have. Boy got, he really did.
Oh, I'm a gummy bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear. Oh, I'm a yummy, tummy, funny, lucky gummy bear. I'm a jolly bear, 'cause I'm a gummy bear. Oh, I'm a moving, grooving, jamming, singing gummy bear. Oh, yeah.
Hello, Turtle! Very nice to see you. Thank you for the gummy bear. Hope you're doing well. Today I heard an interesting theory about the uncanny valley, that it could be a leftover primal reaction to other human species from when we coexisted with other humans. I forgot what uncanny valley is. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. I know I've heard of it, but I just have a really bad memory. Onyx Armory plans. Ooh, whoa, that's cool. I didn't know what was going to happen until she said, it's better if I show you. Yeah, right? That was a good book. That was a really good one. I like those kinds of books when they have like a good twist at the end that you could maybe think, you could be like, well, maybe, but you could also say, maybe not. Reflections on Cult Worship in the Empire by Cusius Placia. From the correspondence of Cusius Placia, Imperial trader, writing from the Voss Trade House in Vardenfell District, province of Morrowind. I'm falling asleep at my keyboard. Can I go to bed now? Ghost! I didn't know you were actually here! Go to bed! Oh, Ghost, I love you. Have a wonderful night. No, you're allowed to leave. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I mean, I did, but I didn't. Have a good night, Ghost. I got it as soon as she asked for proof. Yeah, right? Uncanny Valley is most often used with robots where they stop looking cute and start looking creepy. Human before they look human enough to not be creepy. Okay. Gotcha. I imagine my reading is not helping you stay awake either, Ghost. I have noted that Hardlanders like myself and assimilated Imperial citizens of other races tend to impersonal and formal relationships with their gods and spirits. For us, cults are first and foremost social and economic organizations. We typically think of the 8 divines in the most abstract terms, as powerful but indifferent spirits to be propitiated, and do not think of their relationships as personal. Notable exceptions include minor charismatic subcults of Akatosh and Dibella. The Imperial cult of Tiber Septim also has a significant charismatic subcult. With the exception of the Elysian Order, which Heartlanders regard as a dark age, religious cults have played only a minor part in the Heartlander and Imperial history. The Septim Emperors have made it a policy to limit the influence of cult authorities in aristocratic, military, and bureaucratic affairs. Cult worship is regarded as a private and practical matter, and public pronouncements by religious figures are not welcomed. Nordic hero cults provide a strong countercurrent to the dominant secularism of the Empire. The Imperial cult of Tiber Septim is just such a hero cult, and among the military, provincial colonists, and recently assimilated foreigners, the cult is particularly strong and personal. The Tribunal Temple in Morrowind and its predecessor House Ancestor cults are, by contrast with Imperial cults, extremely intimate and personal. In ancestor cults, the worshipper has a direct relationship with a blood family ancestor spirit, and the temple cultist's relationship with the tribunal is a relationship with a living, breathing god who walks the earth, speaks in person with priests and cultists, and whose daily actions are prescribed models for the daily actions of their followers. The differences in religious temperament between Heartlanders and Morrowind Dunmer accounts in large part for consistent political and social misunderstandings between the two cultures. Heartlanders do not consider cult affairs as serious matters, where the Dunmer consider cult affairs, and in particular ancestral spirit veneration, to be very serious matters indeed. Heartlanders are casual and tolerant in religious matters. Dunmer are passionate and extremely intolerant. Heartlanders do not speak with their gods and do not think of their actions as under constant review and judgment by their gods. The Dunmer feel that all they think and do is under the ever-watchful eye of the tribunal and family ancestor spirits. Rising Threat, Secrets of the Gourmet, Mercenaries, Song of Olvak, Song of Jashi. Okay, well, those are the ones that we read before. Those were good. These are spell tomes. The Alchemist's Formulary. Thanks, Doc. Reading, I'm trying to, I don't know, not necessarily practice for sure, but just try and get better at staying consistent with whatever voice I pick for a book. Like if I'm not just reading it in my normal voice. Because my issue with like putting on accents or whatever is I morph. I'll morph into something and then into something else, and I'm like, how did I end up in a Texan accent? I started out with the British. So, The Alchemist's Formulary. Should I do this one in a British accent? Let's see how badly I morph. Alright. Hi, Mr. Red. Nice to see you. The Alchemist's I don't know, I'm not super great at a British accent. You would think being friends with a bunch of British people at this point would help, but honestly, like, it does, but it doesn't. The Alchemist's Formulary. A set of recipes which would be useful to either the healer, the traveler, or the adventurer. Healer's recipes. Healers should know all the recipes for the following popular potions. Fortunately, in most cases, the ingredients are common and cheaply obtained. To restore health to the afflicted and wounded, combine in equal parts 2 or more of the following cheap and common ingredients: marshmallow, wick-wheat, cork bulb root, and saltris. Marshmallow is an important crop of the Ascadian Isles, but it also grows wild in the grazelands and on Azura's coast. Wick-wheat is a wild ashland grain that grows in the grazelands. Cork bulb grows best in the Ascadian Isles. Most saltris comes from southeastern Morrowind, but there are also some new and prospering farms and plantations in the Ascadian Isles. Saltris occasionally grows wild in the grazelands and on Azura's coast. To restore fatigue after heavy exertion, combine 2 or more of the following: crab meat, bread, small quama egg, and chokeweed. Crab meat is taken from the mud crab commonly found along all coasts. Bread in Morrowind is usually baked from saltris flour. Quama eggs are harvested from egg mines and sold everywhere in Morrowind. The smaller eggs retain properties lost in later states of gestation. Chokeweed is a tough shrub growing in the rocky highlands of West Gash. To cure common diseases, combine grave dust and green lichen. Grave dust is spirit-affinitive dust taken from remains buried in consecrated ground. Green lichen is a hardy primitive plant that grows in the Ascadian Isles and Azura's coast. To restore magicka for spellcasting, combine comberry and frost salts. Comberry is a bitter berry used to make wines. It grows mainly in the Ascadian Isles. Frost salts, by contrast, are rare and expensive. These crystalline compounds precipitate from elemental frost in solution. Such residues may be collected from the remains of frost atronax that have been banished from the mortal plane. I am struggling right now. I'm doing alright. How are you doing, Mr. Red? Nice to see you. Thank you for sending many love and hugs. And thank you for telling chat they're amazing. Also, I'm not gonna lie, it does not help that this book has a lot of very strange words. Now, like, they're normal Skyrim words, but they're Skyrim words. They're not like regular English. So, I'm struggling for my voice to like stick with any sort of not regular, like my own voice accent, because I haven't heard these words spoken by somebody with that accent. What are we reading? We're reading modded books right now. So lots of these are from Midwood Isle. I'm doing well, just relaxing. That's good to hear. So Skyrim language, pretty much. And but the thing is, I cannot do a Nordic accent. You know, like, even though I have Vilkas following me around and I've heard him say a bunch of stuff, I cannot do an accent like him. Also, Michael Gow. I don't know how many people know this. Michael Gow, or Michael Gow, I don't know how you say his last name. He voices Shrek in parts of the franchise where Michael Myers was not available or didn't want to do it. So, like, obviously he didn't voice actual Shrek. But if there was, like, a Shrek game, the same person who voices Vilkas also voices Shrek in those games, or like a TV offshoot or a smaller movie or something like that, like where he voices Shrek. It's really cool. Modded books. Wait, I think I know this. This was an ESO, I think. Oh, was it really? Do you know people call me Mr. Red? But yeah, I thought it was really cool. I was like, you know what? I love Vilkas so much. I'm kind of curious to see who voices him. And the thing that triggered me was I was watching the CinemaSins for Shrek 2 last night. And I haven't seen the Shrek movies in a really long time, and I think I only saw the first one, and I only saw the first one, it was a really long time ago. I never saw any of the other ones. Which means that I didn't remember what Shrek sounded like at all. But when a small clip of Shrek speaking played in the CinemaSins video, I was like, that sounds so much like Vilkas. That's really funny. So I was like, I looked up who voiced Shrek, and I looked up who voices Vilkas, because I was like, it sounds similar to him. And then I looked his name up, Michael Gow, and it specifically said he voices Shrek in some of the franchise, and I'm like, that's super cool. They also call me British, as long as they don't call you late to dinner. Anyway. And so this is just like a little book. So yeah, so these are words that I've like not heard a British person ever say. Which is funny because Kino plays a game called Super Auto Pets. He's probably the main British content creator that I watch. Him and probably Grian and Mumbo, but I don't watch them as often. But anyway, they play Minecraft, so they definitely are not speaking anything that has anything to do with Skyrim. But I will say Kino probably says some weird words just because there's a lot of weird named pets in Super Auto Pets. But again, still like nothing Skyrim related. So, you know, I never heard Kino say the word Atronak or Escadian or, you know, whatever. So it's hard for me to know how to say some of these words. Gonna switch to mobile in a sec, be right back. How dare you? Just kidding. No one can call me late to dinner because I always make my own dinner. Like, I'm eating right now. Are you proud of me, Gregor? I started the game before your dinner was done. And now you get to listen to me fail miserably at a British accent while reading, while you're eating. Don't hide me! Alright, we'll try this again. I felt like I started out kind of well, and then once some of these more Skyrim specific words came out, I was like, oh gosh, I'm slipping. I'm always proud. Alright, let's try this again. Alright. Travelers' recipes. Pilgrims and I'm already failing. Pilgrims and travelers will find the following inexpensive recipes of particular interest. Pause. Oh, this is I thought it like was on Smart Shuffle or something and was starting to play music that was not on my playlist, but nope, this is from the playlist. Anyway. Okay. Tater doesn't shed much, but when he does, his little fur is so fine. It takes like 20 passes for me to get it off of my face because I can't find it. Anyway, there was one in my mouth and I couldn't get it out. Okay. Travelers' recipes. Pilgrims and travelers will find the following inexpensive recipes of particular interest. Heather reduces the weary traveler's burdens and can be gained from heather and scuttle. Heather is a low evergreen shrub of the Ascadian Isles, known for its small pinkish-purple flowers. Scuttle, Vardenfell's favorite local dish, is similar to cheese and made from the flesh of local beetles. Levitation can be produced from any of the two following ingredients: trama root, racer plumes, and coda flowers. A thick, bitter-tasting root of the trama shrub grows in the ashlands, Molag Amur, and Red Mountain regions. Racer plumes are plucked from dead cliff racers. Coda flowers are collected from the primitive draggletail plant of the Bitter Coast. The power of water breathing is handy for travelers. A potion may be made from 2 or more of the following ingredients: Luminous Rusula, Hackalow leaf, and Quamacuttle. Luminous Rusula is a squat, mottled brown-green toadstool mushroom of the Bitter Coast region. Hackalow leaf is a succulent leaf of the Gracelands, prized for its taste and its roborative powers. Quamacuttle is a tough, waxy substance that comes from sex in the mouths of Quama. Adventurers' recipes. Unfortunately, the potions most favored by adventurers require more rare and expensive ingredients. There are exceptions, like the easy and affordable recipe for Fire Shield, but most such potions require at least 1 ingredient, with high cost in coin or blood. Fire Shield potions can be made from coneberry and slowed soup. Coneberry is the bitterberry of the Ascadian Isles. Didn't we read that already? Slowed soup is a waxy substance made from the immature, non-sentient forms of the slowed. Slowed soap is not expensive, but it is only rarely stocked by apothecaries or alchemists and cannot be collected locally. An adventurer can fortify his strength and a potion made from ash yams and drew wax. Ash yam is a tough tuberous root vegetable common to the Ascadian Isles region. Drew wax is a tough, waxy substance scraped from drew shells. Drew are powerful aquatic creatures, and hunting them for their hides and wax is a dangerous occupation. Invisibility, one of the most prized effects of potions, can only be made from crushed diamonds and bitter green petals. Bitter green is a red flowering plant growing in the Red Mountain region. Diamonds, on the other hand, are very rare and expensive, and usually must be purchased from fine alchemists. I was about to be like, who out here eating the intelligent and dangerous slowed? Oh, that broke me. The Book of Circles notes. Apparently, by Destry Malarg, notes for Redguard history. Biographical notes. Destry Malarg was a well-known historian and translator of Old Redguard verse, born as simply Destry in the city, state of Rihad, in the 20th year of the Third Era. At the age of 19, he went to the Imperial City to study. There were few Redguards who had been to the Imperial Province at the time, and it may be that he took the last name Malarg in order to assimilate with the Breton, Nordic, and Dark Elvish cultures he encountered there. When he died 94 years later, he left numerous unfinished histories and untranslated verse. Very few of this fragmented work has found its way out of collections. What follows is an unmailed letter to Malarg's publishers in the Imperial City. The insights into the man who put the oral traditions of the Redguards to paper impressed me enough to seek its publication. Melius, it should be noted, was Melius Kane, Malarg's publisher in the Imperial City. Signed, Voon, Redguardic First Scholar, Imperial University. Melius. This is the outline of my final chapter for the series on Hammerfell heroes. I condensed Dindel's storytelling. I have my notes, but the story gets long with all the quotes. She puts a lot of dialogue in her storytelling. I am amazed that the old stories about the 5 swords keeps cropping up. It's been 1,000 years since Hellion's time, yet people continue to believe in the stories. The wagon master sat with me after listening to her story and smoked a pipe with me. In discussing the story, he said that his storyteller used to say that one of the 5 swords survived the closing of the Goblin Gate, and is yet hidden here in Hammerfell. It was the least of the 5, but the story has it that it exceeds and modern blade magical or ebony by several orders of magnitude. Of course, I take this with a grain of salt, since an ebony weapon is unparalleled in its keen cutting ability, and personally, I can't imagine a weapon doing more damage than a claymore of Firestorm or a saber of Lifesteal. Dindal even believes that out in the countryside outside of Skaven, in one of the halls of the virtues of war, there are still people who follow the old ways and can form a Shihai or spirit sword. In collecting these stories, I once thought I was seeing a Shihai being formed by an old hall master, but the thing, if it was a spirit sword, it was so faint that even the sword shape was questionable. I didn't want to insult the old man, so I claimed I saw it too. But if that was a Shihai, I can't possibly imagine it was used as a real weapon. Here's my outline of the new story. At the time of this story, Hammerfell is fully occupied by Red Guards. All the old cities of the dwarves, but one, the ghost city of Dwarfhome, are now the cities of today's modern Hammerfell. A second invasion of the giant goblins comes. Hammerfell is unprepared except for a few faithful followers, all youths in the rural halls of virtue. Holland, being the only Ansi, rallies the armies of Hammerfell. After a defeat, he brings back the old ways by telling each warrior to read the Book of Circles. The army fights the goblins to a standstill, but things look bleak, just as in the Divad song. Somehow, the goblins keep being resupplied both with arms and troops. Eventually, the army of Hammerfell will lose. The old master of Holland's Hall of Virtues of War has an ancient copy of David's will and testament, and reads it to Holland. It tells him that the 5 swords aren't lost, just hidden and well guarded in 5 caves. Each cave is home to a master guardian, one of the old blind Ansi, and also a maze. According to the will, Derek must, along with a virtuous companion of pure heart, enter the cave, defeat each Ansi master, and retrieve their sword. Dindal went into great detail here. It seems that each master had an outstanding trait. One, Catrice, possessed feline grace and had become very cat-like. Another, who had icy calm, was something much like an ice golem. On each blade is inscribed part of an intricate message on how to use the power of the swords combined. Derek scours the rural halls for brothers of the blade and maidens of the spirit sword to accompany him in the quests. He finally, one by one, finds his companions and wins each sword. They learn from the blades and together wield the force of the 5 swords to seal the rent in space-time that the goblins have made and from which springs their invasion. Hallin's companions avoided blinding by the magic swords by hurling the swords together into the void and sealing forever the giant goblins in the void between their world and ours. The land is saved, and Hallin and his companions, 3 women and 2 men, became Ansi and restore the teachings of Frandar Hunding to Hammerfell. That's the story in brief. I welcome any comments from you or one of the other editors. One other concern of mine. I understand that you are considering using a better-known writer, Uthila Abuk or Casimir Kristrom, to write the stories I've researched. I can understand that a better-known writer may mean that a few more copies of the books will be sold, but that should not be your only concern. Abuk and Kristrom, while fine writers and poets, will need to be lectured on the true history of the Red Guards. Even if you are willing to pay me to do that, you will have to acknowledge that the books will take longer to write than if you just allow me to do it. Just something to consider when you make the decision. I hope this letter finds you, your consort, and children to good health and humor. Yours faithfully, Destry Millarg. That's actually really interesting. We have another book here, The Book of Dawn and Dusk. Oops. Wow, that's not what I meant to do at all. I am just using my keyboard, so 1 second. We have gone through a lot of these books. There's still a couple of things that I haven't been able to read because we don't have all of the books in this series, and I prefer to have all the books in this series before I just start reading them. The Book of Dawn and Dusk. The Book of Dawn and Dusk. This book is a collection of sayings and aphorisms attributed variously to the tribunals and their saints and servants. Many of these sayings have become common cliches of everyday life in Morrowind. The following selection of slogans will illustrate many of the simplest nations of the Tribunal faithful. Speak none but good of the gods. We can have no opinions about truth. Rumors flow from the House of Troubles. count only the happy hours, that horse. No child has a sinner's heart. Let faith be your only law. Fear of the fool is the beginning of wisdom. Alms sivi in every hour. Walk always in the presence of your lords. Comfort is given, justice is taken. Learn by serving. From the heart the light, from the head the law. Blessed alms sivi, mercy, mastery, mystery. Forge a keen faith in the crucible of suffering. Engrave upon thy eye the image of injustice. Death does not diminish, the ghost gilds with glory. Faith conquers all, let us yield to faith. Better to suffer a wrong than do one. The heavens are in their glory, applaud. Folly secures its power to harm, though forbidden to some, not to you. Alright. Ancient Tales of the Dwemer. That's part 10. So they're not listed properly, but that's part 10, and we do have part 2, so I wonder if you can get all of the parts. They're just not, like, listed properly. Facts! Alright, the Epic of the Grey Falcon. By Anito Joan, editor. Oh no, Anito Joan, editor. As uncovered and translated by Anito Joan, royal archaeologist, from an ancient tome. This tale comes from some time in the Second Era, most probably after the time of the Nahatan flu. Or at least I have so surmised, due to reasons in the text. Whether or not the tale is true, it remains an interesting story of survival. The reader will, I trust, forgive me if I translated the epic somewhat informally. The message, I think, is universal and should not be misread. Enjoy, gentle reader. AJJ. The Grey Falcon, a small warship on the Somerset Isle, was patrolling deep in the ocean for a pirate boat that had been looting the coast. For a pirate that had been looting the coast. The first 3 weeks out were uneventful. 2 hours after sunset, on the 22nd day out of port, the lookout spotted a top of a sail in the moonlight, just on the horizon. "Sail! To starboard forward quarter!" the lookout of the Grey Falcon cried. The crew and captain of the Grey Falcon were quickly roused and stumbled to the deck. "'Tis the ship we're looking for, Captain," said the lookout. "All hands to the battle stations! All archers to their posts!" the captain yelled. "Full ahead!" The two ships closed, and a dark figure stepped out onto the forecastle of the pirate ship. The figure made a gesture with his hands, and a giant ball of fire streaked towards the Grey Falcon. The ball of fire struck the Grey Falcon in her sails, quickly catching them aflame. The figure made another gesture. Large bolts of ice streaked out from his hands and hit the Grey Falcon just above and below the waterline, gouging large holes in her hull. The Grey Falcon was mortally wounded. The captain cried, "All hands abandon ship!" and he was cut off by a pirate's arrow shot into him. As the Grey Falcon, aflame and listing badly, plunged into the sea, one of her sailors, Derek Seaspit, managed to avoid the pirate arrows and spells to make his way to a lifeboat and lowered it into the darkness below. Just as the lifeboat entered the water, a quick gray shape jumped into it. Derek looked and saw it was Helnor Snarlsbane, a Khajiit mercenary assigned to the ship. The two rowed the small boat away as the Grey Falcon finished her descent into the sea. In the darkness, the pirate ship missed their small craft. After the two rowed well out of the pirates' possible view, they both collapsed from exhaustion. Early morning the next day, they took an inventory of the lifeboat's stores. Normally, the lifeboat carried enough food and water to supply 7 people for at least 10 days. In place of the food, though, Helnor found a note. The food in this lifeboat was found to be in violation of Somerset Navy regulation during inspection. In accordance to that article, the food was taken away and destroyed. A replacement may be obtained by redeeming this letter at the Port Supply Office. Signed, Lieutenant Inspector Windhollow. Helnor read aloud. "Oh gosh," said Derek to his Khajiit companion. "We have plenty of water, but we are out of food. I don't know what we are going to do. I suppose we could try fishing, but we have no bait. There's no chance we can make it back to land before we starve to death. 'Twill be over a month in this craft." "Oh, wait, I have an idea," said Helnor with a gleam in his cat-like eye. 6 weeks later, the lifeboat entered the port of Corwich. As it was tethered to the dock, a solitary figure was pulled out, looking weathered, beaten, and thin. One of the dock workers peered into the life raft after the figure was taken away to the port healer for treatment. What's this? A worker said to himself as he picked up a large bone from the boat. A bone bleached white by the sun. After the sole survivor of the Grey Falcon recovered from his ordeal, he was taken to the inquest for the death of Derek Seaspit and placed on a chair before the magistrate. We here in High Rock have a dim view of cannibalism. You'd better have a good reason for your actions, the Inquisitor boomed at Helnor Snarlsbane. By the lady, do you? Helnor stood and said, Your Honor, I had no choice. There was no food, and it was at least 2 months to the closest port. We both decided this was the only way someone would make it. Well then, I suppose that is understandable, if somewhat distasteful, the Inquisitor said, no pun intended. You think it was distasteful? Gosh dang it! Helnor muttered to himself, I didn't have any seasoning. Anyway. One final thing, Mr. Snarlsbane. How was it decided that you would be the one that would dine on the other? The toss of a coin? Helnor drew himself up and said, Your Honor, it was very simple. Derek Seaspin was a vegetarian. Case dismissed. Bro, Derek was a vegetarian. What a this story reminded me of an actual story that I heard about, like two men who were lost out at sea for a really long time, and they did make it, but they had like a crazy story. They were in a raft for a really long time, and then when they finally came upon land, this was like a long time ago, I guess. They came upon like an not enemies, but just people who were not familiar with Westerners. And they were taken prisoner for a while, but at least they had food and shelter. And then eventually they found Westerners and were able to catch up with them. It was kind of crazy, honestly. I don't remember many of like the exact details, but it was a really cool story. One of my favorite things is when someone says, "You calling me a liar?" Someone else says, "I ain't calling you for dinner." That's funny. The Healer's Tale, the Keepers of the Razor. What's the Healer's Tale? Yes. Descendants of the Inner Circle. Oh, these are people destroying the Mythic Dawn. Okay. Leslie are gonna be made profit. Okay, this is. What? Oh, the Real Baron Zaya unabridged version, which means it's even more unhinged than the original anyway. Or the one that I read before. The Prophet Ardent Soul Volume 2. Apparently I don't have Volume 1. Okay, so the mod actually added in the original Real Baron Zaya books, which is crazy because those were honestly really bad. Okay, so that's part 2. Wait. Oh, did we have part 3? I don't remember. The Seven Curses by Gilvis Borello, from the Apocrypha of Dissident Priests, annotated by Gilvis Borello, Abbots of Holamayan. That is quite the words. Oh, jeez. Okay. It's not very long. Through the doors of the unwarned house, where the scoffers scoff and schemers scheme, from the halls of the oath-breaking house, rings 7 curses of gods blasphemed. They rhymed house and house. What are they? Sentient coffee? Sorry. Love your coffee. First curse, curse of fire. Second curse, curse of ash. Third curse, curse of flesh. Fourth curse, curse of ghost. Fifth curse, curse of seed. Sixth curse, curse of despair. Seventh curse of dreams. So we have fire, ash, flesh, ghosts, seed, despair, and dreams. I'm not gonna remember this. Lines 1 to 3, ambiguous, may refer to the impiety of the god-mocking House Dwemer or the treacherous diplomacy of the subtle House Dagoth, or both. House Dagoth, however, was reviled as oath-breakers for their treachery at Red Mountain. It may, however, refer to unspecified broken oaths of peace between Lord Nerevar and Lord Dumak, founders of the Grand Council. Nerevar and Dumac were loyal friends until the disagreements between the Dwemer and the other great houses broke out in open conflict. Line 4. Dwemer were the mockers and profaners of the divine. Lines 5 through 6. The curses of fire and ash would come from the Red Mountain where Dagoth rules. These were the earliest reported threats from Red Mountain. Line 7. Curse of flesh suggests blight disease, especially corpus. The fire and ash storms preceded the threats of blight and corpus. Lines 8 through 10. Obscure may refer to as yet unrecognized threats from Dagoth. Line 11. Recent reports of a soul sickness and disturbed dreams come from townsfolk and ashlanders alike. That the 7th and final curse has begun suggests the threat presented is about to reach a crisis. That's terrifying. Alright, so there's the 7 curses. The Stranger. This is a book that I haven't seen. The Nerevarine Prophecy. This most common verse is one collected from Ashlander tribesmen. Our incomplete sources suggest that the Ashlanders have a strong tradition of dream visions and prophecies, and that, among the Ashlanders, there are many other verse prophecies concerning the Nerevarine. I apologize for smacking my microphone. When the earth is sundered and skies choked black and sleepers serve the 7 curses, to the hearth there comes a stranger, journeyed far neath moon and star. Though stark-born to sire uncertain, his aspect marks a certain fate. Wicked stalk him, righteous curse him, prophets speak, but all deny. Many trials make manifest the stranger's fate. The curse's bane, many touchstones try the stranger, many fall, but one remains. Notes with line references. Line 1, presumed to refer to earthquakes and eruptions of Red Mountain, also known as Dagoth possibly refers to blight, a local phenomenon. This is very similar to the notes on the last poem we just read. Line 2, sleepers presumably concerns those corrupted by Dagoth in their dreams. Sleepers. The 7 curses are likely the 7 ash vampires. Line 4, this is common trope for long travel by day and night, but here also specifically refers to Nerevar's family crest, born on standards, armor, and weapons. Line 5, obscure taken here to imply supernatural birth or ambiguous or secret parentage or both. Stark-born may mean orphaned or naked without parents. Line 6, aspect refers to his fate as foretold in the stars. The subject's horoscope matches the particulars of the prophecies. Line 8, conventional complaint of prophets, no one pays any attention to us. Line 10, perhaps by overcoming the 7 curses, the stranger identifies himself. I love the pity poor me in the middle of all this. No one pays any attention to us. Alright. The War of Bethany, Favita? A Sentinel citizen's take on the events and outcome of the war betwixt Sentinel and Daggerfall. Could there be better proof of the natural perversity of Bretons than their conduct before, during, and after what history will remember as the War of Bethany? By the most depraved of motivations, the most despicable of tactics, and the most ungentlemanly of triumphs, the kingdom of Daggerfall changed the nature of warfare in the Iliac Bay and perhaps over all of Tamriel. If you can only eat one food for the rest of your life, how long do you think you survive before succumbing to vitamin deficiency? Can the one food be honey? Honey keeps me alive forever, right? Right? Or can you cheat and say something like pizza or sandwiches? Because if you say sandwich, but then you specify what kind of sandwich, like that one sandwich could have like everything in it, you know? That's cheating though. In Sentinel, we call the recent carnage the Siege of Bethany, but as the Book of History is writ by the victors, let us speak instead of the War of Bethany. Good night, Patad. I gotta wake up early. Thank you for shooting. No, Dastardly Doctor, you're not allowed to wake up early tomorrow. You're supposed to stay here and be here and do a 24-hour stream, like right now. Just kidding. Love you, Doc. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. Don't worry, I'll tell Janessa you said goodnight. Have a wonderful night, friend. Good luck with your waking up early tomorrow. I do appreciate you being here. Of course. Bye, Doc. Also, with the way my camera is when I wave, I know sometimes you can't even see it. So, it kind of just looks like I'm just shaking. Okay. Redguards by their nature are a modest and practical people. We are not phlegmatic like the High Elves, nor cowardly like the Wood Elves and Khajiit. But what would infuriate and enrage the swaggering, vainglorious Nords and Bretons would not merit a shrug from a Redguard. Had any Breton kingdom possessed the little island of Bethany, it would have been covetously guarded. Bethany's trade would have been seriously restricted, its religion subjugated, its people bound by active and constant pledges and duties of vassalage. But Bethany was not a Breton dominion. Bethany was a part of the kingdom of Sin. Also, water. Sounds like a good idea right now. King Lysandus, may the old ones continue to torment his soul for his wickedness, saw the prosperous island which is closer to his land than to Sentinel, and his black heart turned to avarice. Though threats, lies, act of piracy, and finally invasion, Daggerfall illegally took possession of the island of Bethany. His court sorceress, the Lady Medora, his enchantress mother, and other experienced counselors were horrified by the brutality of his campaign and begged him to abandon his tyrannical act of war. Gradually, all dissenters were removed from court. None but the ignorant and warmongers remained. Our late King Cameron tried to employ civil diplomacy with Daggerfall, but in the end he made the former declaration of war. Daggerfall and Sentinel have fought many times in their 2,000 years of coexistence, and Cameron knew the black magic and espionage that the Bretons considered honest warfare. Never debasing the Sentinel character by duplicating the Breton villainy, Cameron knew best how to combat Lysandus. King Lysandus' knavish battle tactics were even more perfidious than his ancestors, and the war continued to rage until it began to involve more than just Sentinel and Daggerfall. Lord Graddock, ruler of Reich Gradkeep, acted as conciliator between Sentinel and Daggerfall and eventually convinced both monarchs to meet and make peace. The ill-fated Treaty of Gradkeep began civilly. The terms of peace were discussed, agreed on, and set to paper. The terms were excessively generous. Cameron had agreed to give up some of his rights to Bethany in order to placate the madness of Lysandus and to bring back peace to Iliac Bay. It was not until King Cameron read the treaty he was about to sign that he realized the outrageous perfidy of the Bretons. The treaty had actually been purposefully miswritten by a Daggerfall scribe in a desperate and ignominious attempt to trick Cameron into signing a contract different from the one to which he had agreed. The castle of Reich Gradkeep erupted into bloodbath and the war continued. The Battle of Cringane Field was the tragic ending of the senseless War of Attrition. The Cringane Field is located in between the Yorth Burrowland and the Ravinian Forest, where the armies of Sentinel and Daggerfall, respectively, made camp after the massacre at Reich Gradkeep. As the battle began, Daggerfall proved that she had some foul Daedric magical tricks left by blinding the Redguard army with a wall of mist. Lysandus did not have the opportunity to gloat over his cozenage for long. The sure arm of a Sentinel archer struck him in the throat even through the thick, swirling fog. Lysandus' son, Gothard, who had spent battle in lugubrious relaxation, was crowned without ceremony, and thereupon demanded a duel with King Cameron. Cameron was many years Gothard's senior, and though a superior warrior, was exhausted from the endless warfare the boy king had been spared. Nevertheless, as a point of honor, our king agreed to the duel. The new king of Daggerfall, by dirty trick and black magic, managed to backstab our king before the duel even began. Thus, the victor of Cringane Field and the War of Bethany was Daggerfall. Daggerfall's wickedness continued even after her inglorious victory. While her widow queen of Sentinel, Her Majesty Alcorithi, mourned and tried to mend her shattered lands, Gothard demanded the Princess of Sentinel as a hostage of war. To save her homeland, the Princess Abki agreed to leave Sentinel and even marry the murderer of her father. But we true Redguards of Sentinel know where her love and honor lies. The Queen of Daggerfall is the Princess of Sentinel first and foremost. So, Gregor, did you ever play Daggerfall, by the way? Or did you just play Oblivion and Skyrim? Oh wait, no, you just played Skyrim, right? AK, you played Daggerfall, right? Did Daggerfall seem like a terrible city? I guess it wasn't, you know, as fleshed out as Skyrim was, but that's really interesting hearing about some of that lore. Now, okay, I do know that that's a modded book, but it's interesting. That might be, is that all the books that we've picked up? We picked up a lot of books. Nope, there's one right here. Wayrest, Jewel of the Bay by Sathir Longleat. Just Oblivion once and Skyrim. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I never played Morrowind. I never played Arena or Daggerfall. I think Krim played Oblivion, but I didn't watch it. He wasn't playing this was like over a year ago. He played the original Oblivion on stream. And he's like, man, if I knew they were gonna do a remake, I would have waited until that came out, but I didn't know. And he did play it like a year ago, so it was a while. But he's never played Skyrim, and he's like, yeah, I'll lurk in your Skyrim streams every now and again, but I don't want any spoilers, so I just, like, turn the sound off. And I'm like, that's fair. Alright, Wayrest is one of the most glorious cities of Western Tamriel, sparkling in her contemporary beauty, lustrous by her past. She is prized above all cities in High Rock. No other city has contributed and continues to contribute so much to the culture of the Bretons. Anyway, sorry, I was just thinking about having a game surrounded by, like, High Rock. The spirits of her genius children continue to haunt the streets. You can see them in the gabled roofs, grand boulevards, aromatic marketplaces. The people of Wayrest have an instinctive appreciation of their past, but are not obsessed by it, as the people of Daggerfall seem to be. One feels that one is a modern city when one visits Wayrest, but there is a magic in the air that could only come from 32 centuries of civilization. It is difficult for historians to declare a certain date for the foundation of Wayrest. A settlement of some variety had been in existence where the Buolsai River feeds the Iliac Bay, possibly since the 800th year of the First Era. The traders and fishermen of Wayrest were surrounded by hostile parties. The orc capital, Orsinium, had grown like poison weed to the north, and the Akavir pirates and raiders crowded the islands to the west. There is no mystery to Wayrest's name. After fighting, most travelers had to endure passing through the eastern end of the Iliac Bay. The little fishing village on Buolsai was a welcome rest. Nowhere in the much vaunted censuses of Skyrim occupation is Wayrest mentioned. In the annals of Daggerfall, King Yoa's letter to Gaiden Shinji of the Order of Diagna contains the following reference. The orcs have been much plaguing the Wayresters and impeding traffic to the heart of the land. The date given for the letter was First Era 948. I can read. Wayrest only truly bloomed after the raising of Orsinium in 1980. The hard-working traders and merchants were instrumental in forming the Masconian tradeway and thus reducing the pirate activity on the bay. At this time, Wayrest occupied both banks of the Buolsai. A successful mercantile family, the Gardeners, built a walled palace on the High Rock side of the river and, over time, allowed banks and other businesses within its walls. It was a gardener, Ferengel, who was proclaimed king when Wayrest accepted ambassadors from the Comorian Empire and was granted the right to call itself a kingdom in the 1100th year of the First Era. Although Wayrest became a kingdom under the command of one family, the merchants continued to wield incredible power. Many economists have alleged that Wayrest's eternal wealth, despite all her hardships, comes from this rare relationship between the merchants and the crown. The Gardner dynasty fell, followed by the Cumberland dynasty, which was followed by the Horley dynasty, and finally, in the Third Era, the Septim dynasty. No citizen of another kingdom...
Good lady, on your birthday. Do what? All of it. at once.
What can I say except
You're welcome. Hi, Displays. Hi, Metagame. Nice to see you. Thank you guys for the raid. How was your stream? Also, Displays.
chicken attack? Chicken attack. What you want back before the face to play? Say my love,
And the sub.
come on, chicken ass.
All of it. At once. Thank you for the 200 bits displays. I really appreciate it. And Panic, thank you so much for the prime. I really appreciate you. Love you guys. How was your stream? And the sub. Thank you so much. Go. Go, chicken. Go. Thank you for the chicken attack displays. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Man, I feel like I was in your stream for like 20 minutes and then I looked back and you were just gone. Did you have issues with the game or something? I wasn't able to watch. Welcome in! So my stream sucked. Oh no! Expedition cleared 33, right? Kept crashing. It was no bueno. Oh no. Is it your computer? Didn't you just got a new one? That's crazy to me. Did you try dropping some settings? That's really weird. I know you literally got that game so you could stream it and like, it looked really nice. I think the processor's faulty. Which one do you have? Did you get one of the 13, 12 or was it 12 and 13 gen? Or was it 13 and 14 gen Intel CPU i9s that were faulty? Cause I got i9 14. Yeah. Yeah, I have the i9 13. Both of those were apparently like they were prone to overheating issues. So I think yeah. You should talk to Rally. So he helped alleviate my issues by underpowering my CPU by a couple of like 0.2 of a volt or something like that. Because I was having issues where my computer would blue screen on startup like 50% of the time. But it would recover so fast, like there were times where I knew it would happen, but I didn't see it. And there were times where I would catch it because I was standing right there at my computer. But like I could literally blink or I could look down and it would blue screen and be recovered before I could even like see what the code was or anything. But anyway, so I talked to Rally about it and he booted me into BIOS and, well I say he had me boot into BIOS and undervolted my CPU just a tad. And I haven't blue screened from that. Like I haven't had a blue screen on startup since he did that. So it might be, you might be able to do that and it'll help. That being said, I have had some issues with my graphics card. And I've had a couple of blue screens because of that, but at least my CPU is okay now. I rage quit Kazan, then lost some games of predecessor for this place, so it was typical. Potatoes crash and curse and spreading. I will DM him for sure. Yeah. He should. He'll probably be able to help you. He's really good with this stuff. Yeah. So Gregor said I have like the crashing curse on Sunday last week when the last time I tried to play Skyrim, it crashed on me. Was it 3 times? It crashed on me. Yeah, it crashed on me 3 times. So I stopped playing it and I started playing Jackbox, but the Jackbox servers were struggling. So my Jackbox games were also kind of crashing throughout the night. Not super consistently, but like a few times. So today I was like, let's see how many times Skyrim's gonna crash on us. So far, knock on wood, Skyrim hasn't crashed, but like not even 30 seconds into starting my stream, my OBS crashed. So, you know, that's fun. So far, it's only crashed on the heavy graphics games, crashed on Exanima and Expedition 33. PoE and other stuff works. PoE is kind of graphics heavy though, isn't it? Like, it has really good graphics. But if you have a really good computer, it would kind of make sense, so. But yeah, undervolting your CPU might help a little bit. I definitely couldn't tell you how to do that though, because I had Rally walk me through step by step because I was terrified I was going to destroy my computer. I was like, yep, I trust you on this, Rally. But yeah, I don't think it stresses the 3D graphics stuff that hard like the ones I mentioned. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Plus, like, it's crazy to me for anybody who's never played Path of Exile, either 1 or 2. Like, they clearly spent a lot of time making the environments and the art for that game really, really pretty. If you if you've never played PoE as well, you wouldn't know. You're in like, not quite top down, but you're in a zoomed out kind of top down, very sort of vague, vague is the wrong word, like a slight angle on the game. Like a slight perspective, but it's mostly top down, and you don't really get to see a ton of the details because you like blast through. Truth! I didn't realize you were live! Thank you for the raid! But if you zoom into the game and you actually stop and look at the environment, the game is beautiful. It's super pretty. You can tell they put a lot of work into the art to that game, but you don't get to see it because you blast through all the levels in 2 seconds flat and you're like 10 miles away from your character. You can't see anything. If you stop and look when you play PoE, you die. See, the only reason I've been able to stop and look at things when I play is because I have this place to watch my back while I'm like, oh, look at this pretty thing. Look how cool this tree branch looks. Look at this pile of skulls and bones. It's great. Anyway, thank you so much for the raid, Truth. I really appreciate it. I don't have my cursor and I can't see my chat. Help. Oh my gosh. My CPU is fine, but my headphones keep crashing randomly on me, which is super fun and cool. Really? That's a weird problem to have, just so you can blast through everything. Yeah, right? True, thank you so much for the raid. How is DBT? I hit level 100 this week. That's crazy. It was just a very short stream. Felt like playing, but I'm losing my voice. Might be sick. No, I'm so sorry. I feel awful that I missed it. I'm so sorry you're feeling sick. I hope you feel better soon. I definitely understand the losing voice thing. Fortunately, I haven't been yelling as much this stream. I've been talking consistently because I've been reading books, but I haven't like been yelling too much. I can start to kind of feel it in the back of my voice, but it's not hurting, so you know, that's fine. Games are decent, actually. That's good to hear. But thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. If you do need to raid and run though, I completely understand. Eat, drink, sleep, whatever you gotta do. But if you do want to stick around and lurk or hang out and chat, that's also very much appreciated. If you don't know who I am, I'm the Mama Patet. I am a cozy, family-friendly, sometimes loud and chaotic variety Skyrim streamer. We do Skyrim Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. We do variety on Tuesdays, and then we do community Jackbox nights on Fridays. So that's fun. I also stream nighttime for Pacific time. So if you are in the UK, you're probably not here right now. And if you're on the East Coast, I'm sorry, you're probably asleep right now. But I really appreciate all of you guys being here, and I hope you enjoy your stay. We're currently reading some books, so we're playing Skyrim today, but we're playing Skyrim with NOLVUS 6 installed thanks to a bad game, and we're supposed to be we're doing a mod called Midwood Isle, and we're supposed to be solving a mystery kinda in this particular so this mod Midwood Isle adds like an entire section to the game, and we're supposed to be going through some trials, but one of the trials that it put us through is like a history lesson. And in this history lesson, I've been thrown into a room with like every book in the game, which means I have been reading books for like the last hour and a half, I think. It's been a while. I've been reading for a while. But I've very much been enjoying it. And they're mostly modded books. There's like maybe a couple vanilla ones sprinkled in that I haven't recognized, but most of them I believe at this point are modded. There was a run that I did in the vanilla game a few months back where I did read like every single book that I came across in the game. I didn't get all of them, but I would say I got a big chunk of them. I would say I got a majority of them. So I read lots and lots of the vanilla books. So now that I'm playing this mod pack, I've been on the hunt for modded books because I still think books are really interesting in this game. So I just kind of have to look at them with a little bit of a grain of salt in my eye. I know that's not the saying at all, but like where, you know, if they bring up other lore from, you know, other areas of the world of Tamriel, whatever, they're bringing up, like the book that we're reading right now is bringing up Daggerfall and Hammerfell and all of them. And I'm like, I don't know how true this is according to actual Bethesda based like in-game canon lore, but it's really interesting for the stories that they're telling within these books themselves. So anyway, that's what we're doing right now, is we're reading some books. Congrats on your raffle ticket, Gregor. Going to bed myself. Love you, sis. Have a great shift. Love you too. Just please, thank you again for the bits, and thank you for coming with a raid. Thank you for the chicken attack. I love you so much. I'm sorry about your computer. I really hope you can figure that out, because I miss your streams. Same with you, Truth. I'm gonna watch a show before bed, but leaving a lurk. I really appreciate you, Truth. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. You're amazing. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night. Alright, let us go back to our book. Alright. Although Wayrest became a kingdom under the command of one family, the merchants continued to wield incredible power. Many economists have alleged that Wayrest's eternal wealth, despite all her hardships, comes from this rare relationship between the merchants and the crown. The Gardner dynasty fell, followed by the Cumberland dynasty, which was followed by the Horley dynasty, and finally, in the third era, the Septim dynasty. No citizen of another kingdom of comparable age can, with one hand, name all the families who have ever ruled. Never has a king of Wayrest been deposed by revolution or assassination. Except for those of the Septim family, every king of Wayrest can trace his line back to a merchant prince of Wayrest. The merchants and king respect one another, and this relationship strengthens both. One need only walk down the Great Boulevard of Wayrest to see physical proof of this unique alliance. Going north to south, I'm not clicking to the game and therefore cannot turn my page. Sorry. Going north to south, Wayrest Boulevard suddenly divides, one half going west and the other going east. Both halves end in identical squares, one at Castle Wayrest, the original palace of Ephraim Gardner, and the other at Cumberland Square, where the oldest and wealthiest marketplace in Wayrest. The message here is clear. The king and the merchants are joined and equal. Wayrest has survived blights, droughts, plagues, piracy, invasions, and war with good humor and practicality. In 1E 2702, the entire population of the city was forced to move into the walled estate of the Gardners as a protection against the pirates, Akaviri raiders, and Thracian plague. A less resourceful community would have withered, but the Wayresters have survived to enrich Tamriel generation after generation. There we go. Wraith's Wedding Dowry. What is this book? By Voltagra Yamwort, translated by Apethorn. The poets are right. There is something life-changing about being in love, said Kipkania Grommenfang, sometimes called the Wraith. I haven't wanted to rob anyone or anything in weeks. Why, the other day I saw a door wide open at a wealthy merchant's house, but my mind was fully occupied with what I should wear on my wedding day. You have been out of the right society for very long now, frowned her friend Cargill approvingly. You never told me what happened to your first husband. You know, the one the shaman gave you. Torn apart by ash ghouls, smiled Kepkania dreamily. It was rather sad-ish, but I would know nothing like that would happen to Woodwarg. No life event for him. He's practically an Imperial. In fact, he is one. Did I tell you how we met? Hundreds of times, grumbled Cargill, reaching for his flagon. He was your jailer, and he refused you food until you promised you'd marry him. Sorry I didn't raid. I had to end quickly because of crying babies. Oh my gosh, Hoodie Guy, you never have to apologize for that. Oh my goodness. First of all, deal with your crying babies, but thank you so much for being here. It's so nice to see you. I hope your stream was amazing, my friend. And yeah, no, you definitely do not apologize for not raiding. I just wanted to be there to try and support you. And yeah, good luck with your little ones. I understand. I only have one. I have one mini patat and one tater tot who is a dog. But I appreciate you so much. Have you ever heard of anything so madly romantic in all your life? Sighed Kipkania, which, by the way, this is a vanilla book that I've read before, but it's good, so I'm reading it again. And then grew serious. I was gonna say, I hope my old friends will wish me well, but as old Basriel used to say, there's no point in hoping for what cannot be. We'll leave with the Imperial Knights for Balmora immediately after the wedding, but as long as we're in Dagon Fell, the gang will find some way of disrupting my love life and bring me back to the light. I know it. As the days approached towards the Wraith's wedding day, there was certainly something sinister in the air that Kipkania could smell when she was not transported by heady bliss. Dark figures seemed to shift in the shadows and disappear when approached. She recognized the clothing of some beggars near Woodwarg's cottage as costumes, but the mendicants hurried away before she could recognize which of her old gang was stalking her. But these moments of apprehension were few. Kepkania was truly happy, making arrangements for the ceremony to be performed at the very dungeon where Woodwarg had imprisoned her. Her father was long since dead, another victim of the Ash Ghouls, but her fiancé's commander volunteered to act in his behalf. Of course, Kepkania had to supply her own dowry. She spent every last mark of her savings of ill-gotten gain to buy her beloved a truly wonderful present. The wedding was set for the stroke of midnight, as is Orc tradition. The handmaidens, wives of imperial officers, were busily sewing her into her gown of red velvet and fine gold filigree in the mid-morning. Dulcetta, one of the handmaidens, remarked that she had heard that Kepkania had bought Woodwork a truly beautiful gift for her dowry. "Let me show it to you!" Kepkania giggled, dashing from the room, half-dressed to her hidden alcove. The present had been stolen. The women were horrified, but the Wraith found herself merely irritated, not surprised. This was truly the old gang's style. They knew that a wedding ceremony without a dowry was marked as unlucky. She asked her handmaidens to finish dressing her quickly, while she pondered what the burglars would have done with the treasure. The whole region was honeycombed with secret lairs and abandoned sites thieves used to store their loot. There were obvious places, of course, but after much reflection, she thought of where she would have put it under similar circumstances. Once the handmaidens had finished, Kepkania bade them to make certain that the ceremony went on as scheduled and not to fret, as she might be a little late. She wrapped herself in a shawl to protect her gown from dungeon dust and set off for the shrine of Malakath. The Wraith had never before attempted to rob her own friends, and though she was peeved at them for trying to ruin her happiness, she had no interest in hurting them physically. Her style was to avoid conflict, though she knew it would be inevitable. The lessons her mentor Cargill had given her had helped her avoid the lances and blades of guards and Imperial Knights over the years. Now she would see if they would allow her to survive a den of thieves and unknown dangers of the shrine, without, most importantly, ruining her dress. The desolate place was so empty as she delved into it that she feared she might have made a miscalculation. It was not until she found the small room hidden down a long corridor that she knew she was at the right place and that it was well suited for an ambush. She grabbed the chest with her treasure within and turned to face the assault. Two of her old gang, Yoram and Yori, the Red Guard twin brother and sister, were outside the door as she came from the room. They knew the Wraith better than to taunt her and immediately attacked. Yoram struck out with a left thrust of his blade, while Yori sought to rush her. The Wraith neatly sidestepped Yori while dropping her weight to her rear left leg, shifting her right shoulder to the left to slip past Yoram's strike. The twins crashed into one another, and Kepkania passed swiftly on. Almost immediately, she was set on by the Argonian Binyar, his mace whistling through the air at her head. They had never much liked one another. The Wraith snapped into a duck, so the mace whacked with a tremendous clamor against the stone wall. Binyar was thrown off balance, giving her a few seconds lead, hurrying up the passage. Ahead, she could smell the fresh night air. The last of her dowry's defenders was Sorog, an orc with whom she had shared a brief romance. It was he who Kepkania knew had masterminded the theft. In a way, and in context, she thought, his devotion to her misery was rather sweet. At the moment, though, she was most concerned with avoiding his barbed axe that seemed ideal for breaking her dress's fine stitchwork and the flesh beneath. Bending her knees slightly, bobbing to avoid strikes to the head, weaving her head to confuse Sorgoth of her next move, shuffling her feet arithmetically, the Wraith made an impossible target. She ducked inside his thrust, sidestepped his swings, and then sidestepped his thrust and ducked his swings. As erratic as she tried to make her defensive moves, Sorgoth still kept pace with her, refusing to budge from his position at the dungeon outlet. Midnight was coming, and the Wraith finally decided that she must end the confrontation. When Sorgoth swung out next, she sidestepped to her left, swayed down, and ducked her head, so the axe whistled over her right shoulder. In that instant, his right side was exposed, and she reluctantly smashed the chest hard into his torso. There was not enough time for Kepkania to see if she had killed him or merely knocked him unconscious. In truth, she thought of nothing else but rushing to her wedding ceremony. At precisely midnight, Woodwork and Kepkania were united together. He was delighted with her dowry gift, a fine suit of armor that would make him the envy of other imperial jailers. Even more, he was enchanted by his wife's tale of retrieving it from the shrine of Malakath. "Did it occur to you to put on the armor when you knew that it was an ambush?" he asked. "I didn't want to dent your present," she replied between kisses. And I certainly didn't want to wrinkle my gown. Such a cute little book. The Skyrim books are so cute. Oh, we did it. I think we finally got them all. Hey, Gregor, congrats on your raffle ticket. Alright, it's 11:09. I think we've read all of them now. I think I've gotten all the books. Let me just double check. Oh, The Art of Cooking Volume 2. I don't know if I read this one. Permanently increases the duration of all food effects by 100%. Oh, that's like a spell tome. That's cool. There's the Ethereum Wars. Let's see. What is Thought Steal? Equip the spells the target has equipped. Lasts for 120 seconds or until equipped. Okay. Rising Threat Volumes 2 and 4. Okay, so we're missing a Rising Threat. We're missing like the King Edward books. We're missing the Lost Wonders of the Ages books. I did Chained and Whole. That's a book from Oblivion. I have more than the rest on the leaderboard added together. Light from the Thalmor, False Up, Expedite Fire and Darkness. Forgotten Seasons, I only have volume 1. Remember Inquiries? We're missing the first one for some reason. Krendal's Drunken Song was really funny. Brief History of Midwood Isle. Okay, I think A Tale of Kieran, we're also missing those ones. And then there's the 2920 books. Okay, I think we're just missing a couple, and I'm pretty sure I've gone through like every book in this room, except I haven't because there's a skill book. The Doors of Oblivion! Ooh, that increased conjuration. Hermaeus Mora is the Prince of Knowledge and Scrying and the Riddle Unsolvable. Eldritch pages may appear on the corpses you kill. Read Eldritch pages and bind them into tomes. Read books that teach new skills. Become my champion at the Summon of Apocrypha. No. No, I'm good. Nightingales. Fact or fiction? Algred's Tale. The Black Arrow, Volume 1. Argonian Account we've read. If I can get on the table. It's so hard to see some of these. So obviously the ones that, well, I say obviously, the ones that are currently glowing are ones that I haven't technically read like this run through, but I have read a lot of these previously in different playthroughs. Galarian the Mystic. Did or will you play Oblivion? So I never played the original, but I did buy the remake the day it came out. Actually, it was like within 5 minutes of it coming out. I cried. I was so excited. But the thing is, I'm really bad at Oblivion. And I'm really... You know what's kind of funny is I'm really bad at being ADHD in Oblivion. I keep hyper-focusing the the main quest. And it's kind of funny. Meanwhile in Skyrim, like I'm here reading these books even though I'm supposed to be doing something else, but it's easy to get sidetracked in Skyrim, but for me it's not easy to get sidetracked in Oblivion. Don't clear your throat at me. I'm busy. Nords of Skyrim, Wolf Queen. Okay. I just want to check one more time. City of Stone, Code of Malakath. Wait. A Sellsword's Guide to the Orc Strongholds. Okay, never mind. Malakath is the Prince of Curses, Keeper of the Bloody Oath, and the Chief Deity to the Orcs. Improved power attacks. Definitely don't care about that. Book of Daedra. A Game at Dinner. That's a good book. Sovngarde, Re-Examination. Songs the Return. Mysterious Akavir. Oh, Shazar and the Divines. That's a new one. I haven't seen this one. I'm glad I came back and looked. By Faustulus Juni, Sub-Curator of Ancient Theology and Paleonumerology, Imperial Library. Good grief. The position Shazar enjoys in Cyrodiilic worship is often misconstrued. He and 1,000 other deities have sizable cults in the Imperial City. Shazar is especially venerated in the Colovian West, though he is called Shor there, as the West Kings are resolutely and religiously Nordic. Hail, summoner! Conjure me up a warm bed, will you? Absolutely, you can use this one right here! Welcome in, Lethal Short Rib. Hope you're having a wonderful day. If / when you go back to Oblivion, you might consider letting viewers choose what quests you do. That would keep you unfocused, probably. That's fair. The haziness of Shazar's relationship to the divines, he is often called their missing sibling, begins with Saint Alicia, the so-called slave queen of Cyrodiil, the founder figure of the original Cyrodiilic Empire. In the earliest Syro-Nordic stories of the Heartland, Shazar fought against the Aelids, the Heartland High Elves, on mankind's behalf. Then, for some unknown reason, he vanishes from the stage, presumably to help other humans elsewhere, and without his leadership, the Aelids conquer the humans and enslave them. This slavery lasts for generations. The isolated humans eventually begin to venerate the pantheon of their masters, or at least assimilate so much of the High Elven religious practices into their native traditions that the two become indistinguishable. In the First Era 242, under the leadership of Alicia, her demigod lover Morehouse, Breath of Kine, and the infamous Pelennor Whitestreak, the Cyrodiilic humans revolt. When Skyrim lends its armies to the slave queen of the south, the revolution succeeds. The Aeliid hegemonies are quickly overthrown. Shortly thereafter, White Gold's tower is captured by Alicia's forces, and she promptly declares herself the first empress of Cyrodiil. Part of the package meant that she had to become the high priestess of Akatosh as well. Akatosh was an Aldmeri god, and Alicia's subjects were as yet unwilling to renounce their worship of the Elven pantheon. She found herself in a very sensitive political situation. She needed to keep the Nords as her allies, but they were, at the time, fiercely opposed to any adoration of Elven deities. On the other hand, she could not force her subjects to revert back to the Nordic pantheon for fear of another revolution. Therefore, concessions were made, and Empress Alicia instituted a new religion, the Eight Divines, an elegant, well-researched synthesis of both pantheons, Nordic and Aldmeri. Shazar, as a result, had to change. He could no longer be the bloodthirsty anti-Aldmer warlord of old. He could not disappear altogether either, or the Nords would have withdrawn their support of her rule. In the end, he had become the spirit behind all human undertaking. Even though this was merely a thinly disguised, watered-down version of Shor, it was good enough for the Nords. As for why Tiber Septim has not attempted to revitalize Shazar during his wars against the Aldmeri Dominion, we can only speculate that, at this time, memories of the Elysian Order's follies, the Dragon Break, the War of the Righteousness, the defeat at Glenumbra Moors, would only damage his campaign for the Imperial Crown. Well then. Oops, wait, no, I need that book. Come here. Alright. Physicalities of the Werewolf is a terrible book. Magic from the Sky. What is this one? By Erlov Jarl. The ancient Aelids believed that Nirn was composed of 4 basic elements. I've read this one, I just don't have it in my inventory. Legend of Red Eagle, Wolf Queen on Oblivion. Alduin is real! The Firmament. Everything is so bright I can't see what's going on. Traveler's Guide to Midwood Isle. Okay. So we've looked at all those books. Anything crazy over here? Beggar Prince, Life of Earl Septim the Seventh, The Brief History of the Empire, Mystery of Talara, Deep of Virtue, Skaldman, Brief History of Midwood Isle, Wolf Queen, Antecedents of Dwemer Law, Olaf and the Dragon. I recognize all of those. Galarian the Mystic, Immortal Blood, Nords Arise! There's the Wars of Bethany we just read, Wayrest we just read. Lost Wonders of the Ages? Is that the one that is that one of the ones I was missing? Lost Wonders of the Ages. Oh no, I have 2 of those. Okay. Dance and Fire, Myths of Horath, Great Houses of Morrowind? Apparently I haven't read that one, but I mean, Great Houses of Morrowind. A description of the 5 great houses of Morrowind. In modern times, Morrowind is ruled by 5 great houses: House Hlaalu, House Redoran, House Telvanni, House Andoril, and House Driss. Only 3 of these houses have interest in Vardenfell. The 3 great houses on Vardenfell identify themselves by their traditional colors: red for Redoran, yellow for Hlaalu, and brown for Telvanni. Thus, members of House Hlaalu may be referred to collectively as Yellows. The great house's traditions derive from ancient Dunmer clan and tribes, but now function as political parties. Dunmer Great House membership is largely a matter of birth and marriage, but imperial colonists may also become retainers of a great house, or may be adopted into a great house. Initially, an outlander may gain status in a house as an oath-bonded hireling, pledging exclusive loyalty to a single house and forsaking ambitions with all other houses. Later, after faithful servant and advancement in lower ranks, an outlander may seek adoption into a great house. Adoption and advancement to higher ranks in a great house requires that a great house counselor stand as sponsor for the candidate's character and loyalty. Finding a counselor to sponsor an outlander often involves performing a great service for the prospective sponsor. House Redoran is one of the 3 Dunmer great houses with holdings on Vardenfell. The Redoran prize the virtues of duty, gravity, and piety. Duty is to one's own honor and to one's family and clan. Gravity is the essential seriousness of life. Life is hard, and events must be judged, endured, and reflected upon with due care and earnestness. Piety is respect for the gods and the virtues they represent. A light, careless life is not worth living. Redoran settlements are designed in Dunmer village style, built of local materials with organic curves and undecorated exteriors, inspired by the landscape and by the shells of giant native insects. Redoran villages are typically centered on temple compounds and their courtyards, with huts and trade houses gathered around a central plaza, as in the West Gash village of Nisus. Aldrune, the Redoran district seat, is exceptional, with its distinctive feature being the colossal prehistoric bug shell that has been adapted as the house's council house. As a result of its close relationship with the imperial administration, House Hlaalu has emerged as politically and economically dominant among the great houses of Vardenfell and Morrowind. Hlaalu welcomes imperial culture and law, imperial legions and bureaucracy, and imperial freedom of trade and religion. Hlaalu still honors the old Dunmer ways, the ancestors, the temple, and the noble houses, but has readily adapted to the rapid pace of change and progress in the imperial provinces. Unlike the other great houses, which are largely hostile to non-Dunmer, House Hlaalu aspires to live in peace and harmony with the other races, and to share in growth and prosperity of the empire. Hlaalu public buildings, trade houses and craft guilds, manors and council halls, are designed as simple, multi-storied buildings, roughly rectangular in plan, featuring arched entranceways and modest decorated exteriors. More modest one-story private dwellings follow the same plan, except with less decoration. Hlaalu plantation estates resemble temple compounds, with walled precincts and closing outbuildings for craftsmen and servants, dominated by a grand manor residence in place of a temple shrine. The wizard lords of House Telvanni have traditionally isolated themselves, pursuing wisdom and mastery in solitude. But certain ambitious wizard lords, their retainers, and clients have entered wholeheartedly into the competition to control and exploit Vardenfell's land and resources, building towers and bases all along the eastern coast. According to Telvanni principles, the powerful define the standards of virtue, and the Telvanni are unwilling to allow the ambitious Hlaalu to dominate Vardenfell's untapped resources by default. Sorry, the little dot on the page looked like a period. Unwilling to allow the ambitious Hlaalu to dominate Vardenfell's untapped resources by default. There you go. Telvanni architecture is dominated by the Wizard's Tower, a fantastic organic form grown and sculpted from stems, caps, and root-like holdfasts of the giant native mushrooms, and we've seen those on Solstheim. Telvanni villages are comprised of smaller mushroom pods hollowed out for craftsmen and commoners. Open-air markets include the giant cages displaying the wares of the slave masters. House Andoril and House Driss are the 2 great houses without holdings or interest in Vardenfell. Indoril district occupies the heartland of Morrowind, comprising the lands south of the Inner Sea and the eastern coast. The city of Almalexia is located in Indoril district, and the Indoril are orthodox and conservative supporters of the Temple and Temple Authority. House Indoril is openly hostile to imperial culture and religion, and preserves many traditional Dunmer customs and practices in defiance of imperial law. Dress District is in the south of Morrowind, bordering the swamps and marshes of Blackmarsh. House Dress is an agrarian agricultural society, and its large citrus plantations rely completely on slave labor for their economic viability. Always firm temple supporters, House Dress is hostile to imperial law and culture, and in particular opposed to any attempts to limit the institution of slavery. That was a really long book. That was longer than I thought it was going to be, but it's fine, we got it. Fall of the Usurper. What is this one? The Fall of the Usurper by Palix Ilther. A speculative analysis as to the part played by Baron Althric of Dwynnin in the downfall of the Cameron Usurper. What? Hold on, I need to drink some water. Drink water, you dehydrated potato! Alright. The people of Dwynnin celebrate Oh, I'm already dying. We're like 5 words in. Wellness check. Okay. Oh, throat cut off.
Chicken attack! Chicken attack!
Oh, wow. We got a pink hat, the default mushroom, and Kino's snake pet. That's funny. Alright, let's start this over. The people of Dwynnin celebrate Othrictide every 5th of Sunsdawn, the date when, according to legend, a man emerged from the wilderness of High Rock and defeated the undead of Castle Whitemore to become the first Baron of Dwynnin. Few people believe the legend anymore, but there most certainly was a Baron Othrok of Dwynnin who was destined to become one of the true heroes of High Rock, if not all, Tamriel. The legend, as most any Dwynnin child will tell you, is that years and years ago, archivists have agreed to the year 3253, the people of Dwynnin were ruled by a lich and its armies of zombies, ghosts, vampires, and skeletons. Othrok was blessed by the gods and given an army of men and animals to destroy the dead. He brought peace and prosperity to the land, growing more powerful as the land improved. Years later, he led the tiny barony against the Cameron Usurper and saved all of Tamriel. How much credit the Baron ought to receive for the defeat of the Cameron Usurper has been debated, but it is an incontestable fact that in the year 3267, the Cameron Usurper's relentless move north through High Rock was halted around the area of contemporary Dwynnin. Dwynnin is actually larger than it was in the First Baron's day. It did not, in fact, have a seaport. But the Battle of Firewaves was a coastal battle. The fact that the battle probably did not occur in Dwynnin does not in itself belittle the Baron's participation in it. The Cameron Usurper had conquered Hammerfell and Valenwood by means of a large army, which by legend consisted entirely of undead and Daedra, but was mostly composed of Redguards and Wood Elves. In all probability, the Usurper summoned the Daedra and undead in Orinthia and slowly replaced the original summoned creatures with the armies of his conquered territories. Most armies of Valenwood have been historically mercenary. Word of the Usurper's conquest reached High Rock in early 266, but preparations to repel the invasion did not begin until early the following year. Historians attribute two factors to High Rock's hesitancy. The primary powers of the Bay were ruled by particularly inept monarchs, Wayrest and Sentinel both had kings in their minority, and Daggerfall was torn by contention between Helena and her cousin Gelothe. The Lord of Reichgradkeep, now Anticlair, was deathly ill through 266 and finally died at the end of the year. There were, in short, no leaders to unite the province against the usurper. Of the leaders with any influence, at least 8, the 8 traitors of legend, made secret allegiances with the usurper to protect their lands. The secondary reason for the lethargy of High Rock had to do with the depth of relations between the province and the Septim Empire. For the first time since the beginning of the dynasty, an emperor ruled Tamriel, who was neither Breton nor had spent any of his childhood in High Rock. The difference between Sepphoris II and his cousin Uriel IV, who preceded him, was appalling to the people of High Rock. Even mad emperors like Pelagius III rever the Bretons over all other races, and cousins and younger siblings of the emperors have ruled in High Rock since the foundation of the empire. Sepphoris was a Nord, with Skyrim and Morrowind sympathies. The attitude of the common men of High Rock was sympathetic toward the Cameron usurper as an archfoe of this hated emperor. The Baron and his less legendary allies, the rulers of Yocalon, Phrygia, and Cambria, changed this favorable perception. News of the usurper's barbaric treatment of captives and abuse of conquered lands, mostly true, spread rapidly through their territories and then to other neutral lands. Within a few months, the greatest navy ever combined organized along the High Rock edge of the Iliac Bay. Only the navy of Uriel V's ill-fated invasion of Akavir was comparable. How the combined forces of High Rock defeated the endless army of the Cameron usurper is certainly worthy of a lengthy book in itself, and perhaps it is best left to the public imagination. Certainly, the weather worked against the usurper, which is a reason in itself to attribute divine intervention. Boron Othrock's divine purpose is the central theme to Othroctide, after all, and as the poet Braylock wrote, to find the facts, the wisest always look first to the fiction. Ooh, so they wrote a book about it. That's pretty cool. Alright, let me save my game, by the way. I know that I've only really been reading books, but I have sifted through a ton of them and picked them up, so I don't want to lose all the ones that I have in my inventory. Okay, we've read those. Redarin Cooking Secrets. I want that. Oops, I accidentally picked up that. That's fine. Pension of the Ancestor Moth. We read that. Hope of the Redarin. We've read that before. Sea of Stone. Okay. I think I just have to go through this table. Brief History of the Empire Volume 4. Dance and Fire Volume 4. A Minor Maze. Branzaya. Wolf Queen. Dwemer History and Culture. Chapter 1. I believe we've read that before, but I don't have it for the museum. Monomyth. Trials of St. Alicia. Mixed Unit Tactics. Walking the World Volume 11, Immortal Blood, and Pirate King of the Abyssinian we've seen. Alright. The Standing Stones. I don't recognize that book. I'll have to look at it. The Standing Stones. A brief history and description of the Shivering Isles obelisks of order? Yeah, okay, this is a different book as well. Any visitor to the Shivering Isles will soon come across a dreadful shape of a tall crystalline stone looming over them like an accusing finger. Variously known as the Standing Stones or obelisks, they cannot be avoided in traveling the Shivering Isles, no matter how hard you try. There are many theories on the origin and purpose of these stones. Purpose? Can a stone have a purpose? Is it a sentient being or an inanimate object? Is it listening to you? Watching you? Whispering to you? Some claim they are simply interesting geological formations. Not so, not so. They cannot be chipped or cracked or even scorched. Believe me, I've tried. Nothing harms them, although perhaps they still feel the blows. They seemed angry for a while. I sang to them and that seemed to soothe them. I can't say why. And if you've tried to dig one up, as I have, you know they go down forever. Months I spent digging down, no matter how deep, there it was, still gleaming in the secret darkness beneath the earth. Shivering Isles is Oblivion DLC, the Realm of Sheogoth. Oh, okay, okay. So no, I haven't seen this book, but this looks cool. They know the secrets, even those that are buried deep. I have spent many years trying to understand these stones. Voiding doesn't work, as I said, they're everywhere. So try for understanding as I have. What's the humming? What do the whispers mean? I can't say that I know everything about them, but I have learned many things, some of which I can share with you. But I don't know what they want, not yet. Perhaps if I knew what they wanted, I wouldn't be so afraid. They whisper secrets to me, but I promise not to tell. They know many secrets. They're always watching. They never sleep, not even at night, not even in the dark of the moon. I know they are old, older than perhaps the world itself. They have seen civilizations rise and fall, and they hate us. They are waiting for their master to return. They won't tell me who or when. If they say so, why did they tell me their secrets? Is it because they know my secrets already? You may not believe me. Most don't, but most have not spent the time that I have in trying to learn about these stones. I have spent days listening to their secret whispers and learning their language. They talk, you know, to each other mostly, but now to me. At first it was just a humming, which you can hear if you lean against the stone and listen very closely. It may take hours or days, but you will hear them. And once you hear the voice of the standing stones, you will never be able to shut it out. Oh boy. That's cool. Alright, killing before you're killed, rhetoric, cooking secrets, we already got. The Shivering Bestiary, apparently we haven't read that one in this run through. The Wharf Bethany Newgate. Actually, that's a different version of that book. Okay, so we just picked up 2 books. The Shivering Bestiary. For my good friend and colleague Vin Ristwi, who protected the creatures of all the realms. Although my early education involved extensive research into all forms of fauna, nothing prepared me for the surprises I've uncovered while exploring the Shivering Isles on the Great Expedition. Even though I've lived here all my life, I am just now discovering how wonderful and unique the creatures of the Isles can be. The expedition was an extensive 6-year exploration of every nook and cranny of the Isles in an attempt to categorize the indigenous fauna and record this information back for posterity and science. Below, I've done my best to describe each creature in detail. Please note that this information was obtained at the cost of many lives, and this work should be regarded as the most complete and definitive reference of its kind. The Bollywog. Is this the person? Oh no, this is Nemlir Esprig. Okay. The Bollywog is an extraordinarily ugly aquatic dwelling creature that frequents the lakes, rivers, and bogs of the Shivering Isles. Although the Bollywog, or Wog as some of the locals call it, walks on all fours, it should by no means be considered stupid or docile. A fully grown adult Bollywog can deliver a nasty blow from its claws or a potentially deadly bite from its razor-sharp teeth. The lethality of this beast comes not from the actual damage it can deliver, but from the horrible diseases it seems to generate. So, that sounds kind of like a Komodo dragon. Also of note is the Bollywog's uncanny ability to regenerate when immersed in water. From our observations, it's best to just avoid these brutes, although it's said that some of them carry flawless pearls in their bodies, though it's not known why they would swallow them or what they may serve to the creatures. The Elytra. The Elytra are large insect-like creatures indigenous to much of the Isles, although there is a marked color difference between the Northern Mania variety. Oh, the Elytra nymphs. Okay, the Mania and the Dementia variety, they are remarkably similar in behavioral... No, I can't read, I'm sorry. They are remarkably similar in behavioral patterns and physical makeup. The Elytra pose a serious threat to the casual traveler, as they have 2 interesting mechanisms that benefit them in combat. The first is their uncanny ability to block weapon attacks. Through my observations, I have deduced that they utilize their antenna as an early warning system to detect incoming attacks, say from a sword blade or an arrow. The antenna sends a signal to their brain, and they instinctively lift their arms to block. The second ability is natural venom in their sting. This venom is very deceiving, as it is a very low yield, but its really deadly nature comes from its duration. Gone unchecked, the venom can slay the average man over a period of hours. Especially deadly is the Elytra matron's venom, which can last much longer than the poisons found on the lesser varieties of the creature. Flesh Atronach. That sounds awful. One of the most unusual creatures in the Isles, the Flesh Atronach appears as a sewn together conglomeration of skin and muscle, adorned with mystical symbols and wearing an iron collar. Although it's uncertain whether Sheogorath or some other Daedric prince created this creature, it's obvious that the intent was to use them as guardians. Usually found inhabiting underground ruins, the Flesh Atronach will defend areas it's set to guard until it's destroyed. A unique visual feature of this creature is the energy spots located on its body. These colored areas seem to glow with an inner light and denote the power of the Atronach. In increasing order of magnitude, these seem to be yellow, purple, and red. The function for these spots is still a mystery, but from my observations, I suspect them to be a magic dampening gland of some kind. As expected, the flesh Atronachs are all completely impervious to disease and poison and highly resistant to fire and frost. Shock magic seems to affect them adversely, which appears to be their largest weakness. The purple and red varieties also seem to possess innate magical abilities, including healing and fireballs. Oh gosh. Saints and Seducers are from Oblivion. Oh dang, I didn't realize that. That's really cool. The Gnarl. Perhaps the strangest creature of all is the Gnarl, or walking tree, as it's sometimes called. Like the elytra, this animated plant can be found roaming almost anywhere on the Isles. One of Sheogorath's truly unique creations, the Gnarl, the Gnarl has the most unusual trait of being able to use magic cast upon it and harness that power to bolster its own defense. Once struck with fire, frost, or lightning, the Gnarl grows physically larger and becomes resistant to just that element for a short time. Interestingly, this is where Gnarl's vulnerability comes into play. At the same time the Gnarl is resisting that element it was struck with, it becomes vulnerable to all of the other elements. Our guide on the expedition demonstrated this by striking the Gnarl with a flame arrow, then a frost arrow, then back to a flame arrow, and so on. Grummite. The Grummite represents the only native weapon-wielding creature in the Shivering Isles. These primitive aquatic-born humanoids are organized in a tribal-like system, though it is uncertain who or what they worship. It would be presumed the Grummite worship Sheogorath, their creator, but their religious totems don't seem to bear the Mad God's likeness. What is known is that they maintain a simple hierarchy, including shaman and boss Grummites, who seem to command the rest. The Grummite have mastered the art of spellcasting as well, evidenced by the Magus Grummite, which can be quite deadly. Curiously, the Grummite possess a defense mechanism similar to the Bollywog. When immersed in water, the Grummite will begin to regenerate damaged flesh. Unlike the Bollywog, this regeneration extends to rain as well, making them quite formidable on a stormy day. This aquatic healing ability leads me to believe the Bollywog and Grummite are somehow related, but even in my extensive research, I was unable to come up with a solid connection. We had a book on that earlier. So apparently they can't do magic according to the other person, but they can do magic according to this one. I didn't want to spoil previously, but this whole book is a spoiler for Shivering Isles. Plus it might tempt you a bit back into Oblivion. Okay, I mean, I'm not reading the book on Oblivion because that, I think, spoils the actual, like, main story of it. But yeah, this doesn't bother me too much. I think it's more about the animals. So yeah, I mean, if I get to see all of these, because I was just about to say, I wonder where I can find all of these. But yeah, if I can find these in Oblivion, that's pretty cool. Hunger. If any creature represents the darker side of Sheogorath, it's the Hunger. These are pure-born Daedric creatures placed here on the Isles as servitors and guards. Hunger is not to be trifled with. It boasts superior speed and lightning reflexes, along with its primary ability of draining its victims' fatigue. My best advice when encountering this horrible creature is to give it a wide berth or slay it quickly. Be wary, as it's said that conjuration magic exists, that it is able to summon the Hunger and unleash it upon the caster's foes. Oof. The Scalen. Another aquatic native of the Shivering Isles is the Scalen. Looking strikingly similar to an upright Bollywog, the Scalen features large fin-laden appendages and dorsal spines. These creatures are usually quite fearsome, lumbering slowly after its prey. Don't mistake its speed for its weakness, as the Scalen has an incredible leaping attack that allows it to strike at its victims from a surprising distance. Another connection that it shares with the Bollywog is the fact that its bite or claws can transfer disease to its victim. It is recommended that these creatures be dealt with at extreme range with spells or missiles, as they can be quite ferocious in close proximity. Shivering Isles is really cool. It'll be fun to see in remastered, I bet. Shambles appear to be some sort of undead construct made from bone and lashed together with wire or bits of cloth. Oddly, the bones used in their makeup appear to have no correlation to one another. They might have skulls for kneecaps or leg bones for arms, to cite a few examples. The shambles may be undead, but they pursue any victim as though they were a predator chasing down its prey. Like its undead bony brethren, the shambles is fully resistant to disease, poison, and paralysis. However, they possess a unique resistance to all frost magic. Furthermore, upon death, the shambles will explode in a spectacular shower of frost. This ability seems to have been added by its creator as an interesting last-ditch defense mechanism. This fact was initially unknown to me, and one of our best guides was lost when his hammer struck the fatal blow. If you intend to combat these undead creatures, be certain to carry frost protection or destroy them at range. Skinned Hound. That sounds awful. These nasty undead beasts are generally encountered inside and around the ruins that dot the Isles. The Skinned Hound is an extremely fast and agile creature and has an insatiable hunger for flesh. Like the flesh Atronach, it appears to be all skin and muscle that is roughly sewn together, but I am uncertain whether they are summoned or merely constructed. The Skinned Hound is not an adversary to be taken lightly. They feature an incredible invisible charging attack, not unlike a ghost, limited frost resistance, and a complete immunity to disease and poison. This beast's weakness is fire. They don't seem intelligent enough to be frightened by it, but it's certainly very efficient at dispatching them quickly. Although this work only touches upon the combat-related aspects of the creatures, I feel this is of primary importance to any traveler within the confines of the Shivering Isles. In future works, I will touch upon these other aspects of the creatures, such as reproduction or creation, magical origins, and even some delicious recipes I've discovered in my travels. My best advice when walking the roads and paths of the Isles is to remain ever vigilant and always be prepared. Knowing your foe can mean the difference between a gruesome death and survival. Okay, there's another book in here that I picked up, and I don't remember what it was. Oh, that book was gonna be so long. I'm not, like, upset about it, I just forgot what the other book is that I picked up. There's Guide to Chaindon Hall. I would have read it. I don't think the little I would be there. If it's down here, I'm gonna be sad because I was just down here. Oh, the War of Bettany Newgate. Oh, so this is different parts of the War of Bettany. Okay. This is probably gonna be the last one that I read tonight though, because it's getting really late. A description of the events of the War of Bettany. The history of the Iliac Bay, if told in its entirety, would horrify readers more than the most gruesome legend of the Underking. In comparison to the wars of the First and Second Era, our most recent appeal to arms, the War of Bettany pales. The siege of Orsinium lasted from 1E 950 until 1E 980 without pause. 1,000 years later, the Thracian Plague, coupled with the War of Righteousness, slayed over half the population of the Iliac Bay. And yet the War of Bettany fascinates us, and not just because of its immediacy. Ironically, Lord Mogreff of Bettany was seeking peace when he asked for Daggerfall's protection on the island of Bettany. The island had been long independent, but as the piracy in the bay increased, Mograth truly realized Bettany's vulnerability. King Lysandus agreed to be Bettany's liege on advice of many, including his archpriest of Kinnereth, Lord Vanek. Whoa! We're getting some names here that we've seen in like other books, and it's kind of blowing my mind right now. While Bettany is a prosperous fishing island and well placed strategically, the vassalage of Bettany was primarily an act of charity. Lysandus knew that if someone did not help Bettany, it would fall to the pirates, if not someone worse. Unfortunately, King Cameron of the Sentinel did not agree, citing a 200-year-old contract obliquely, if not illegally written, to suggest that Bettany was a traditional holding of the Kingdom of Sentinel. Cameron declared war. The majority of his advisors, being warlords in a traditionally bellicose country, supported their king in this. The chief counselor, a woman called the Oracle, foresaw death and defeat in the war, but her wisdom was stifled and she was banished from court. Cameron should have listened to her. A few skirmishes of the War of Bettany went to Sentinel, but the major battles were all won by Daggerfall. King Lysandus, his heir Prince Gothred, and General of the Army Lord Bridwell were fine leaders and warriors as well, and the Battle of the Bluffs and the Siege of Craghold both went to Daggerfall. Hi Stingray! Nice to see you, hope you're doing well. The war might have been won with one more victory, but for an unusual domestic incident in King Lysandus' court. The king's mother, the Dowager Queen NOLVUS, had been uneasy about the war since its beginning, but she now began to have visions of cataclysm. She saw the death of her beloved son should the wars continue. Ebullient by his success, King Lysandus refused to listen to her fears until NOLVUS left his court. Lysandus then realized how certain she was about his impending death. He began to actively negotiate a peace treaty with Sentinel, using the neutral lordship of Reichgradkeep as facilitator. The Treaty of Reichgradkeep was never to be. King Cameron was initially civil, as the losing side of a war is often civil, but when he realized the proposed treaty would have included a formal declaration that the kingdoms of Sentinel and Daggerfall would share Bettany, he flew into a rage. With no thought for the protocol of attacking a neutral, peaceable lordship, Cameron ordered his army to riot through Reichgradkeep. First the halls of the palace, and then the streets of the capital ran red with blood. It was only with the support of Daggerfall that the chaos was brought under relative control. The Sentinel army fled to the Yorthborough land. The Daggerfall army chased them as far as the Ravinian forests before making camp. 1 week later, after each had a chance to send for reinforcements and plan their strategies, the armies met in the field that separated them, the flowering meadowland called Kerngane Field. In the heat of the clash, an unnatural fog spread over the field, blinding all combatants. When the mist finally lifted, King Lysandus' body was found, his throat pierced by an unmarked arrow. Daggerfall did not waste any time in mourning. Young Prince Gothred, who had shown great bravery in battle and was very popular among the troops, was crowned King of Daggerfall just behind battle lines, and he ordered the army onward. Perhaps it was the sight of the brave young warrior turned king appearing on the battlefield in full regalia that inspired the Daggerfall army. Perhaps the battle would have turned regardless. Sentinel began to panic. King Gothred met King Cameron before the Red Guards had retreated, and the two monarchs fought. Both were excellent warriors, but Gothred was a more skilled swordsman, and Cameron fell that day. Lord Orsmy of Sentinel formally surrendered to Daggerfall, giving up all rights to Bettany officially. He later committed Sudoku on the ship back to Sentinel. So the book that we read on this earlier was from the perspective of somebody who really did not like Daggerfall, because this seems to be more of like an unbiased approach to the war, versus the one that we read was like somebody's personal vendetta against, they clearly were against Daggerfall. So yeah, it's really interesting to see like multiple perspectives here. Peace was a difficult process for the city's towns on both sides of the Iliac Bay. As part of the formal peace treaty, King Gothred asked for the hand of Princess Obki, only daughter of the late King Cameron and Queen Regent Corithi. The request was intended to restore friendship between the kingdoms, and it was only partially successful, though many in the royal court of Sentinel viewed the princess as more of a prisoner of war than a bond to Daggerfall. The only surviving member of the ruling family of Reichgradkeep was a sickly infant, so the councillors of state appealed to Lord Oberon Flight, a cousin of Lord Graddock, to rule the lordship and regency. Lord Flight accepted, and his strong, almost dictatorial style was just what Reich Gradkeep needed to restore order after the bloody Treaty of Reich Gradkeep. His subjects were grateful that when the infant heir died, that they not only elevated his wife Duriana and him from regents to rulers, they agreed to rename the lordship in his honor. Reich Gradkeep became Anticlair, named after his ancestral home. The horrors of the War of Bethany still live on, even in Anticlair. Whether Daggerfall and Sentinel will be able to use the marriage of King Gothard and Princess Obki as a symbol of peace rather than discord is something that only the future can show. Alright, I think on that note... I am gonna call it. I am very tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so... It's also like just about to be midnight, so this is pretty decent timing. Did I save? Did that save? Well, we're saving again, just in case. Thank you for streaming, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you guys. Alright, let's go over here really quick. Let's go find somebody to raid. Yeah, hey, I made it on time today, and I went to my normal time as well, so feeling pretty decent about these things. Let's go find some. Who's up right now? A bunch of people. Oop. Oh, there's actually a decent amount of people live. I think I kind of want to go say hi to Knifer. She is currently... Is she playing by herself? She's playing Played Up. I'm not sure. Let's go say hi to Knifer. I haven't rated her in a while, but she's been going live like really late in the middle of the night for me recently. So yeah, let's go say hi to her. Your soothing breathing voice has kept me company through the magic game winding down for the night. Thank you so much for another amazing stream. Thanks for being here. I will do my last wellness check after I send you guys off. I appreciate it, Steven. Alright, let's go to cute Knifer. I love Knifer so much. She's such a sweetheart. I'm just getting really tired like all of a sudden very quickly, so I'm gonna send you guys off for the night. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you. I hope you'll have a wonderful night. Go say hi to Knifer, send her some love. She's an amazing, wonderful, fantastic human being. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for some Jackbox. Be here for Jackbox. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.